Good morning, everybody. Welcome in, LeVar. We are moments away from getting this thing going, but we're actually on the porch out here this morning, which is a little bit nicer. Jen is trying to get the live stream. She's trying to get hop on. We are good to go this morning. All right, saw your text. As long as you got me and you can hear me, we are on the same page. All right, we're good. We're gonna be a lot of the main stuff out here with some guests. I already talked to Whittle. He'll hop on in the first hour. Shouldn't have to deal with anybody calling, or we won't have to deal with anybody calling in. Okay. We are good to go. Yeah, all righty. Do some social media sharing. Okay. And welcome in. Monday morning, what may be a very beautiful Monday morning. We'll keep an eye on the weather as we go through. And the reason we're keeping an eye on the weather is because I'm currently sitting outside by myself, alone, enjoying the view at Charwood Golf Club. We are here for the Fairways for Fisch, the BigSpur.com golf tournament will be taking place at Charwood Golf Club today in just a few hours. And we got plenty of guests that will be swinging by throughout the morning as we have a fundraising event for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund, and that will be taking place today. So glad to be out and about. Patrick Perrette, Jen, I saw him apparently having a unique meeting with Heath Klein in the, I forget what, maybe the Austin airport, I believe is where I saw that. Did you see that Twitter picture of them hanging out and I guess discussing all the problems in the world? It's a weird place to do it out in Austin, Texas. But those two run into each other. But Patrick on vacation for this week. He'll be back next Tuesday. So we'll find a way. We'll find a way to survive. And we start finding a way to survive by hanging out here at Charwood Golf Club today. Again, a lot of people will be swinging by. Tee time is set for 9 a.m. So that could set up for a very interesting end of the show as I try to wrap up the program and make it to my golf cart to participate in the golf tournament. But if you want to be a part of the program, 803 404 6100 as We always enjoy you being a part, interacting on the program with us this morning. If you want to jump on our live stream, you can do that, where you can see myself set up here, you know, enjoying a nice morning, just hanging out, looking out at what is a soon to be filled driving range with people ready to come out and shoot very low scores, similar to what was going on at Southern Hills this past weekend for the PGA Championship. And we'll talk a lot about that this morning. A very fun, very entertaining, I should say. I don't know what the definition of fun is for golf, but a very entertaining PGA Championship this weekend that saw Justin Thomas win his second major in his career. Just happens to be the second PGA Championship he has won. Does it yesterday as he out battles Will Zalatoris in a playoff. Thomas rallying 7 shots behind yesterday at one point, and he comes back to win. And of course, there was a lot of things happening in that final round, especially down the final couple holes there. As Justin Thomas though rallies, gets into the playoff, shoots a 3 under 67, gets himself into the playoff, and then defeats Will Zalatoris. So we'll talk about that. South Carolina baseball, we now know what they are going to be doing. They will just play another game against Florida. They dropped 2 of 3. The Thursday and Friday games were particularly ugly. Saturday, they bounce back and win, however, and they will now head to Hoover and open up on Tuesday against those same Florida Gators, and we'll see how they're able to perform and do down there in Hoover. We'll catch up with a lot. Obviously, today is a special event for Ryan Fisher, who was a big part of the South Carolina baseball program. You heard it; it's right there in the mention that I did for the Fairways for Fisch BigSpur.com golf tournament, and again, raising money today for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund. So a lot of different baseball players: Michael Roth, Garris Gantz, Brian Triplett, just some of the names that I'm expecting to swing by this morning and be a part of the program. Lamont Paris, South Carolina basketball coach, will be out here. We're going to see if we can get him to pop on. I've promised him I would not hold his. We're not the Heath Klein show. We're not going to get Lamont Paris on and start weighing him down with a lot of difficult questions this morning. I know he's answered more than enough of those in recent weeks. So we'll get him. Hopefully, we'll have Lamont Parrish drop by. A lot of other people in between now and 9 a.m. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, 803 404 6100. But I was saying that about the guest because, again, we will get a lot of opinions. John Whittle will be by here within the hour to talk about. He was down in Gainesville, and we'll talk about that and what he saw against South Carolina, losing Thursday 14-5, Saturday 8-0, but they bounced back and win 4-1 on Saturday afternoon to avoid the sweep. We thought they needed to go a bare minimum of 3-1 last week to maybe have any chance of an NCAA tournament bid when they went to Hoover. They go 1-3. The Gamecocks finished the season 27-27, 13-17 in the SEC. And again, they will be the 10 seed in the SEC tournament and will take on the 7th seeded Florida Gators Tuesday afternoon over in Hoover. That game will be scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern time. And you can catch it, obviously, right here on 107.5 The Game. You can also catch it on the SEC network. So we will catch up with a lot of different Gamecock baseball former players, people that follow the program, and get their thoughts and opinions on where we stand as the Gamecocks 2022 season appears to be heading toward a conclusion, barring a absolutely miracle run in the SEC tournament. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, 803 404 6100, how you can weigh in. Again, you can always go and hop on our live stream. LeVar, Anthony, Robin, all up and at 'em early this morning being a part of the program. We welcome them in, and we welcome our own buddy, our good buddy on the Love Chevy phone lines, Gamecock Larry, ready to weigh in this morning. Larry, how you feeling? That's the important question. We'll let you talk baseball, but how you feeling this morning?
Four singles on the team. Not pitchers. And they were all coming to the Gamecocks home for signees before we fired Holbrook and hired this man. All I got to say is, what kind of recruiting has he done since he was hired? This year, he's got freshmen, one or two. He's got transfer portals and those four seniors. Now, that's not all. And I guess I'm gonna get off here. I know you don't believe all this, but I've been trying to keep up with this. This man, I said I wasn't gonna bash him, but he got to go. Go Gamecocks, have fun, Bill. Again, I'll see you later. Go Gamecocks.
Appreciate the phone call and certainly hope you continue to get better and feel a lot better. We'll talk a lot, obviously, a lot of baseball this morning and get into what exactly people, others, and not just Gamecock Larry, but others are seeing again as we are out here live at Charwood Golf Club this morning. The Fairways for Fisch, the BigSpur.com golf tournament is taking place, and we are helping raise money for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund. You can be a part of that, make a donation. Even if you can't be out here this morning, you go to thebigspur.com and click on the link there where you can go and sponsor or donate just a little bit of money or as much as you'd like. John Whittle will join us here in about 20 minutes, if not sooner. I see him over there getting set up. And again, a lot of baseball players will be out here. Registration begins at 7:30. So as we are doing the tournament, you'll have a lot of people swinging by and expect to have a lot of people on this morning to allow them to offer their thoughts and opinions, both on what occurred over the weekend down in Gainesville, what they see, because I think that's where we are. What is the big picture? You hear Larry kind of talking about it in recruiting, where this program as a whole goes at this point. I think that'll be the decision we anxiously await from the administration over the next few weeks and see what South Carolina elects to do here with this baseball program. So we'll get some thoughts and opinions from others throughout the morning. Again, plenty for us to get into the PGA Championship from over the weekend as we were wrapping up our programs on Friday and Thursday, Friday. We were getting all the blowback from Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. We'll get back into that a little bit and then kind of carry on. But there's a lot to get into. Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, Patrick Perrette is on vacation. Looked like he was having a good time. He did go to that. Like, what do you barbecue house? I guess Jen that Justin Stepp had suggested, and he seemed to give it more than two thumbs up. He seemed very pleased with his first meal out in Austin, Texas. I don't know if you followed the adventures of Patrick via text and Twitter throughout, or I guess not text, but Twitter over the weekend. It seems like he's off to a very nice vacation. Need to check on your health as well. You got a big vacation coming up this weekend as well as you get set to head up and yell at IndyCar drivers at the Indy 500 this weekend. So we got to make sure. We need to make sure we do what we gotta do for you to make sure you're healthy this morning and throughout the week. So we got a busy week ahead of us, and it starts with a beautiful day here. The sky, a beautiful combination of pink and blue. Some clouds out here. It's a beautiful morning. Feels great. First time that we have set up on the porch because of our own decision. Remember, we did that a few years ago because Rock forgot that we were coming out here, and that was in a November when it was much, much, much chillier. But today we made the decision. I made the executive decision to sit outside and be amongst the crowd. There's a pig barbecuing down there, and I've walked past it 3 times, and I am starving now. It smells absolutely delicious. So we got a lot going on this morning. Should be a lot of fun hanging out here. It's Bill Gunter. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. All right. Well, we should have the audio should be up now. I can mute it, and now you should be able to hear.
From the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
Jen's having to fiddle with the thing. I saw the little thing pulsing. I don't know if I can't unmute Jim, but that's okay. I think she took that out, so we're good there. So we'll get it all up and running properly and have a good little time. We'll see who all stops by. I do too, Robin. I thought the birds were a nice little touch this morning. It's a lot better than being inside where we normally are. Where we normally
the
are.
NFL over the franchise relocation lawsuit. Testimony.
Jen, I think you might have taken. I can handle the live stream, the studio one, and just pop it on mute in between the breaks. It was working when I put it on, but you might have popped it into program 3 or whatever just to take it out. Last Monday, yes. We are at Charwood Golf Course. So we are out here. It's nice out here in Pine Ridge.
Birds sound better than the frogs did.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm not. It's showing unmuted. Do I need to talk with my mic on?
Let me turn mine up. Now talk. Oh, wait. Now.
Yeah, I figured it. Is that better?
Well, yeah, I forget. There's these little. I've just ever realized the tabs at the top. I always have it muted, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here.
Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, and MLS consumer access. Rate number 3030. Call 8.
All right, then we can unmute that. So, yep, we should be good to go now.
All right.
Yep.
I was saying the birds sound better than the frogs. Right now, we've got I think frogs mating behind the pool, so it gets very, very loud out there. Much rather hear birds.
So you got to remind me it's 7:20. I got to give a shout out. Our black team won the Savannah tournament, and I'm going to read the much to probably Mike D's chagrin. I'm going to make sure I mention all the kids that won. But you talk about the frogs mating. So we went to the Crab Shack in Tybee Island on Saturday night, and we're there. And all of a sudden, they've got that little area where you can feed the alligators. They got all kind of, I wouldn't say baby alligators, but 3 to 5 foot alligators, and they all started making the mating sounds.
Oh boy!
And of course, we had Austin. I only had Austin, and then one of his teammates, and then his teammate's little sister, who's probably 3. And all of a sudden, those alligators started mating.
Fantastic.
Just
Going for the family show.
we were like, all right, well, let's go. That's good.
Hey, did you know alligators can play leapfrog? Look at that.
They were just giving each other piggyback rides.
Exactly.
I was like, all right, but I mean, because we didn't know, all of a sudden they started doing that croaking sound that they do, that loud
Yeah.
croaking. And next thing you know, the girl who was kind of handling everything was like, oh, that's their mating call. And yep, about that time. All right, well,
Yep. Dinner and a show. How fun.
it was definitely dinner and a show. It's a pretty cool little place there in Tybee because they've got the rescue parrots, so you can go in and see all the parrots.
That's cool.
So pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining. Oh, I thought it was calling for a bunch of rain. I hope it stays like this.
It looks like really not until after like 2 o'clock or something. So
Okay, that's good.
be good. Yeah.
I like sitting here a little bit more than I do just sitting inside without any interaction. Of course, there's no interaction right now.
No.
I think I'll get Whittle to join us in the next segment, not this one.
Okay.
With Bill Gunter, Patrick Perret, and Jen Jensen.
On your home of the Gamecocks, the early game.
107.5 The Game.
.621 on a Monday morning, May the 23rd. Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, Patrick Perret off and on vacation, so we get you started this week as we are live from Charwood Golf Club, the Fairways for Fisch, bigspur.com golf tournament taking place. And again, people will start arriving out here shortly, and we will expect to have several people join us this morning and talk a little sports, especially Gamecock sports. And right now, as it pertains to South Carolina baseball, who wraps up the season dropping 2 of 3 in Gainesville. They'll head to Hoover for a rematch, another game, a fourth consecutive game against those same Florida Gators, a game set for 2 o'clock tomorrow down in Hoover. It'll be the single elimination portion of the SEC tournament. The Gamecocks 4-3 all time against Florida in the SEC tournament. And again, that'll be tomorrow afternoon, initially slated for about 2 o'clock. South Carolina is an interesting SEC tournament team. Historically, they're not good in it at all. They've qualified, however, for 25 straight SEC tournaments, but have just a 29-50 overall record in the SEC tournament. And that includes the 2004 SEC tournament championship. You know, whether that's the way that Ray Tanner always kind of, South Carolina obviously for many, many, many years went to the SEC tournament already being in the NCAA tournament. And the majority of the time, I'd say 75-80% of the time, if not maybe even a little bit higher, they would go to Hoover having pretty much already clinched a regional. We talk about just trying to make it in the SEC tournament. South Carolina generally has arrived down at the SEC baseball tournament having not just secured an NCAA tournament bid, but clinched a regional. Obviously, this year, to even get into the NCAA tournament, they're going to need to win the whole kit and caboodle there, which just with the pitching right now, you would imagine is going to be extremely, extremely hard. The South Carolina pitching staff did not allow an earned run in Saturday's win, a 4-1 victory over Florida. Cade Austin earned the win for the Gamecocks, striking out 1, allowing just 2 hits in 3 innings. Will Sanders struck out the side in his 1-inning start. So they gave him a little bit of just a little bit of work, and I would assume that he will be the starter tomorrow for South Carolina, because you want to get through tomorrow and get into the double elimination portion of the SEC baseball tournament. But certainly South Carolina's pitching staff, do they have the depth to hold up over a multiple day tournament? And I think that's where a lot of us would agree that's going to be extremely difficult for them to do. So if you want to weigh in on baseball this
I was
morning,
to say, and didn't we end up with
6100?
Sorry, didn't we end up with another injury over the weekend? I understood. Was it Brant Belk?
Brent Belk,
Got a
we'll get
concussion?
more of an
Yeah.
update on that as we kind of go through the more. Like I said, a lot of John Whittle is helping get set up, and John will join us here shortly, and we'll get more of an in-depth. He was down in Gainesville. I was in Savannah at a soccer tournament, so I was trying to do a couple different things, and keeping up with the baseball was a little bit more difficult. But where I'm going with that is we'll catch up with John Whittle here probably in the next segment, if not the end of the hour, to get his thoughts on what he saw down there and where this program kind of stands. But you're right, Jen. How significant that injury is, I'm not real sure at this point in time, and we'll get more of a thought process there from John Whittle coming up. That's one of the major stories that we'll talk about this morning. Certainly, as guests arrive and we kind of hang out with him. The other one was yesterday, Justin Thomas outlasting Will Zalatoris in the PGA Championship. That was fun to watch down the stretch. I will admit, Will Zalatoris is a guy that we know that he's come on. Kyle Thompson, and Kyle sent me a text last week and on Friday, I think, and was kind of highlighting the fact that he's been pointing out Zalatoris a good bit of late. Zalatoris is a kid that has been very competitive, has just been looking to break through. He had a chance to get his first major win. That's his second place finish. He had one in the Masters. He's still looking for his first PGA Tour victory, but it looked like he was on the verge of getting that. Obviously, a lot of other things were taking place there that allowed. It looked like we were heading for a 3-person playoff, and Piera was not able to get things done on 18, which opened the door for Zalatoris and for Justin Thomas to get into the 3-hole playoff. And at that point, it really felt like Justin Thomas, who's been there before in major moments like this, and I'm forgetting which announcer was talking about it and relating back to the very close there for Piera, how your body just feels different and you tense up a little bit. Your hands feel different. Your arms feel different. Your swing becomes heavier, and you got to learn to slow it down a little bit. And I thought Zalatoris handled the moment extremely well. I felt he was going against a guy who had been there many more times, just coming down the close, being in pressure situations. Obviously, Thomas only had one major victory going into yesterday afternoon, but it looked like a guy who was comfortable. But you come out of that, I think, feeling that Will Zalatoris is on the verge of breaking through, and when that's not going to be the last time we see him in the final group or final pairing or final up there at the top of the leaderboard competing for a chance to win when things are closing down on a Sunday at a major. And a lot of fun yesterday to watch that close, to see the playoff. Craig pointing out on our live stream 5 top 10s in 8 majors for Zalatoris. And yeah, he's performing at a very high clip right now. It's just a matter of breaking through and winning that first one. And as soon as he does that, who knows if he doesn't take off and win multiple ones. So we'll continue talking about that. We'll catch up here with John Whittle of thebigspur.com, get back into that baseball discussion and plenty more going on this morning. You got a lot to get excited about on a Monday morning. Final full week of May. You're listening to Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game, streaming 24/7.
1 billion of us own a smartphone, and we know how addicting it can be.
Just go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app.
So you never miss any of your favorite shows.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5
The Game.
Was a busy weekend. We were at a golf tournament. We were at a soccer tournament in Savannah, and while that was a lot of fun for Austin and myself, man, it was great to be back home last night. Make sure to get a great night of sleep for a fun day here on the golf course with that sleep number bed. Put that sleep number setting on 55, and I am ready to go. It's actually out here at 5:30. I was telling Jen in a text message, this is the most prepared for a radio program I've ever been in my life. I had the Comrec set up. I had the live stream set up. We were ready to go this morning, and it's all because of a great night of sleep with a sleep number bed. You can do the same. Get a great night of sleep. Why make the change? Why find out about proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every great day starts the night before. And right now, don't miss Sleep Number's weekend special during their Memorial Day sale, where you can save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen Now, only $1,999 plus special financing. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. This deal ends today, May 23rd, and it's at a Sleep Number store. And good news for you, there's 2 to choose from. One in Irmo and Harvison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings. The other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road across from Sand Hills Mall. You can always visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Again, the Memorial Day sale. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen. Now only $1,999 plus special financing. Get out to a Sleep Number store today and find out what a great night of sleep is truly like.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Still just that one accident to let you know about.
All righty. Let me go see if I can track down one John Whittle. We need to get us a Whittle on. So I will be right back. All right, you can hop on for a minute. Look, I'd like you to do a radio segment. Won't do is a little strong, but. So that's why I moved my car way down where I did. All right, we're gonna have us John Whittle here. Tell you what, the way they make me do breaks now, time absolutely flies. You should be good on that one. Oh, I think I actually might have set this up perfectly where the green, I just realized that the green matches the green on that one. So that is a totally unintentional. I did, man. There's nothing like getting up at 4:30 to get out here. I was like, oh. All right.
Oh, poor guy. 4:30.
Scholarship fund, not foundation.
Did I say foundation more than once?
I haven't heard you yet. But
okay.
That's what you said yesterday. And I meant to tell you.
All right, gotcha.
All right, I'm putting you up.
.634 on a very lovely Monday morning out here at Charwood Golf Club. Bill Gunter, now joined by John Whittle of thebigspur.com, a very busy John Whittle, because you were down in Gainesville this week. Now you come right back and you're ready for a golf tournament. So a busy few days for you.
And then turn around and go to Hoover.
Are you going tonight, or are you going to get up first thing in the morning? Because the game's at 1 o'clock Central Time. Well, scheduled. I think there's a game prior to it. So 30 minutes after, if that game goes 18 innings, it'll be a lot later for you. But you leaving tonight or in the morning?
I'm leaving tonight. Not even going to have time to bring a plate of barbecue with me. We got a 120-pound pig over there on the smoker. So it'll be a good day regardless, though. It'll be a good day.
It's really a fun, I got to admit, just from a standpoint of like, as we move past things that have been going on for me, like soccer with Austin and baseball's kind of coming to you. It's really the start of the summer. There's really an enjoyable feeling showing up at a golf course at 5:30 in the morning. And not only is it you're at a golf course, but you smell a pig on the cooker. Like I was instantly like, man, this is a great way to start Memorial Day week for me. Like this is a pretty enjoyable. So I'm pretty excited about that. We've had Joan before and a great event today. The Fairways for Fisch Big Spur Golf Tournament. It's benefiting the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund that is taking place. And again, just to remind everybody, if they missed when we had Joan last week or last 2 weeks, kind of what we're out here for today and what's taking place.
Yeah, we're having having a nice little 100-person golf tournament out here today. We'll have several guests from over at USC and a bunch of members of the BigSpur.com and old Gamecocks, and we're gonna have a good old time out here for sure. But we're honoring Ryan Fisher, who came down from Virginia as an undergrad student, joined up with the baseball program as a student manager, worked with the program for a long time, went over to football for a few years under Steve Spurrier in their equipment side of things, and then went back to baseball for a few years. And he started out as a student manager, and that's something that's always been near to him and dear to him. So they have established a scholarship fund over there through USC, through the athletics department, and we're raising money for that today. So it's Ryan Fisher was a good friend to a lot of us. He passed away back in September, and we're looking forward to all being out here together to celebrate him and have a little fun on the course too, for sure.
Should be a lot of fun today. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Was a little bit more of a rough weekend though for baseball. Go down obviously Thursday and Friday did not go the way that you would have liked if you were Mark Kingston of the baseball team. You bounce back with a 4-1 win on Saturday. So where is this team? I'm assuming Will Sanders will get the start tomorrow. He only throws one inning on Saturday, and you got to get through tomorrow. It's the single elimination portion. Otherwise, boy, you've driven to Gainesville, you've run a golf tournament, you've gone to Hoover, and you've come right back all in a span of like 6 days. So just for your sake, they need to get to the double elimination portion. But you look at this right now, it'll probably be Will Sanders tomorrow. And then you just, I guess, got to piece it together, correct?
Yeah, I think so. You can move Noah Hall up to Wednesday and start him after Will, but I think since you go to double elimination at that point, if you win on Tuesday, we're assuming that's a pretty big assumption, I think. So we'll assume they win on Tuesday, that Sanders can go out and win. If it's me making the decision, I'll probably piece it and part it together on Wednesday, knowing that if you lose, you're still alive, and then go with Noah Hall, who you'd be bumping up a day anyway. Go with him on Thursday, and get through it and see where you stand on Friday. So South Carolina obviously not a deep pitching staff. They've only got about a half a dozen arms or so that I would think that they feel really good about, and that doesn't really set up well for SEC tournament play when we're playing so many games in so many days. But they'll try to piece it and part it, put it together, and fight like they have all season.
What do you make of, so you've covered a lot of it, you've seen a whole bunch of it. What do you make of South Carolina's history in Hoover? 29-50 overall. But again, the majority of years they've qualified for 25 straight SEC tournaments. The majority of the years when they win, it wasn't just that they had a spot locked up in the NCAA tournaments, they had a regional locked up. You would agree that, I guess, Ray Tanner, his approach, and even Chad Holbrook to some extent, the approach has been, well, let's not go wear out our baseball team at a tournament that might at times be more difficult than the NCAA tournament.
That's a fair thought, and I think there are certainly some years where there's been more importance put on it than others. But we've seen what having success in Hoover can do for you. The year they won it, they ended up being the number one national seed, and a big part of that was based on what they did there in the tournament, because that was not in the conversation beforehand. So this tournament can have a little bit more effect. We saw this past year, the SEC basketball tournament on the men's side didn't really have any effect on NCAA tournament selection. Right. So But I do think it plays a little bit more. I do think it happens a little bit more in baseball, where a conference tournament can help you out some. So they obviously really need it this year. Need a deep run and probably to win it to have any chance of making it. Really have to win it. So. Like I said, pitching staff doesn't really set up for it, but they're going to go out and give it their best shot for sure.
We were talking about the health of the team, a few nicks and bruises here and there. Anything out of the Florida series that'll certainly impact the SEC tournament?
Yeah, Brent Belk.
I was going to say that one's pretty big. So I think Jen had brought that one up in the previous segment. But
yeah,
what is?
You know, they don't really talk about those kind of injuries on the record. I think it's a head injury that he's having to come back from, and you know there's certain protocols and that you have to go through and benchmarks you have to hit, and you know he may be available for Tuesday, but I wouldn't bet on it. So he's probably going to be out for a little bit, and you know he'll travel down to Hoover and you know see how things go, but. You know, other than him, it's the same guys. You know, Eli Jones will be out for the rest of the year. He was the guy who was starting midweek games for him, and as he was coming back from Tommy John surgery, it's not major that he's got, but he's going to be out for probably a month or so. You know, he may actually pitch some the end of the summer, but other than that, it's the same guys who are dealing with things. Josiah Seitler's ankle and Kevin Madden's elbow, and you know, I guess those are kind of the main things.
Did this weekend change, in your opinion, anything for this program, for decisions that need to be made? What you saw, I don't. Is there anything that changed? Obviously, a run and winning the SEC tournament does change a lot. But is there anything that you see, or that this past weekend against Florida, or even going back to, unfortunately, the Charlotte game last Tuesday night, that changed your opinion of anything we've talked about previously as it pertains to decisions that'll need to be made in the coming weeks?
Not really. You know, I think it's just kind of the way it's been over the course of the year. The midweeks have been a real struggle because you're trying to throw arms that you know may not be quite good enough. The weekends you're out there with two really good starting pitchers and two really good bullpen pieces, and you know you're hoping that everything kind of falls your way for 2 games, and you know you've gotten all 3 before and haven't gotten any a couple times. So it's been about the same in effort wise too. You know, I know Friday looked awful, and I think that was more of a bad game versus team giving up. And you know they came back on Saturday, the final game of the series, and you know played hard and played pretty well overall. So you know I don't think anything that happened in the last week or 10 days has really changed much in terms of you know any kind of decisions that would be made after the season. I think it's been kind of pretty standard all through.
He's John Whittle. You have done a great job, sir, putting on what should be a lot of fun today. The Fairways for Fisch Big Spur, BigSpur.com golf tournament. It is the BigSpur.com's golf tournament. I think I participated in the first one about 11 years ago as a member of the Big Spur, as a writer, a media person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in your group finished in last place, if I remember correctly. So you had the prize of getting the BigSpur.com tattooed on the small of your back. So I didn't know if your listeners knew that or not, that you got that Big Spur tattoo.
There is a story actually behind that is not, and it doesn't. Well, it involves me because I was in the group, but it doesn't involve me. It involves another person who was in the group who about got us all. There was a situation. Let's just say there was a situation that, and I'm trying to remember of who I played with. The other guy that was a member. We had 3. We had a former player. I'll just leave names out. A former South Carolina football player from the 80s who tends to get very excited at times, and he decided he wanted to go and try and join a pool party that was being had by a bunch of ladies. And let's just say that there was a reason. I don't know if we played all 18 holes that day. It was an experience unlike anything I've ever been at on a golf course. There was a good reason we finished dead last in that thing. So, but great job today. Again, look forward to doing this on an annual basis. with you guys, and I look forward to being out here throughout the morning.
Absolutely. Appreciate you being here.
Glad to do it. He's John Whittle with thebigspur.com. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. Whittle has promised me lots and lots of guests, so I don't have to talk all morning. You're listening to Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay, Terry, and Tommy.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
The weather has definitely changed. It is time to make sure that air conditioning, I mean, you're in the final stages of it, buddy. If you haven't called AAA Heating and Air yet, you are really, really taking a chance this summer. Don't let
spring cleaning on your home. So give Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning a call. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for all.
Yeah, AAA Heating and Air, don't let that air conditioner go out now. You need to make sure that it is working properly. And right now, if you're a new customer with AAA Heating and Air, you can get a $49 maintenance package, new customer maintenance package. And that's just coming out. I had AAA Heating and Air come out not too long ago, and they looked at my heating and air unit. There was a few things that needed to be fixed. Make sure that everything is working properly. That's exactly what they did. Now I know the heating and air unit is going to work all the way through the summer. I feel comfortable with it. AAA Heating and Air has taken care of me and my family. They will do the exact same for you. And if you're in the market for a new heating and air unit, don't hesitate. Call AAA Heating and Air today. They can offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit, then work with you. Even for those with bad credit, AAA Heating and Air guarantees financing. So they can get in touch with you. They'll make sure that you get the financing you need, work with you. For those of you with great credit, no money down, 0% interest to start off for 60 months. It's a great deal. AAA Heating and Air also comes with a 15-year parts and labor warranty. So they are there even after they've installed that new unit. Don't wait any longer. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunter sent you.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. Shepherd's.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the guy was. We had a threesome, and we didn't have a fourth. Chief Hendricks was our third. And yeah, we went to tee off, and there was some younger moms having a pool party for some kids. Chief felt they needed his guidance on how to have fun at the pool party. Me and the other guy, we sped off in the car. Chief stayed back.
Did he really? So it was just 2 of you?
He finally came. I think that was after things had escalated to a very interesting point.
Yeah.
We were well down the fairway and but I was pretty sure that there was going to be a situation that we didn't need to be a part of. So that was the reason. That, and somewhere along the line, he about got in a fight with one of the guys in the group behind us.
I probably should have reached out to more folks from the football side and text Shane.
Really? Yeah. Well, he was at the Preakness this weekend. We'll be right back. We're going to walk away for a minute. Walk away that way. I guess.
Next season. Kittle telling Pro Football Talk he thinks Garoppolo is a great leader who knows the offense really well, while Lance can run, extend plays, and is incredible with play action. The 49ers have reached the NFC Championship 2 out of the last 3 years with Garoppolo under center. 49ers general manager John Lynch says the team does not plan to cut the 30-year-old quarterback if they can't trade him. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
The following is paid for by Third Home. Do you own a vacation home? How would you like access to leverage it for world travel without the hassle or expense of renting? Third Home is the members-only luxury property and travel club that opens your world to exquisite rent-free travel. The Economist reported Third Home to be the secret to scoring a vacation home that's practically free. Find out how it works. Call for your free information now. 800-201-1894. 800-201-1894.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
That rosé you recommended was a hit. What should we try for more fun in the sun this weekend?
This silver tequila makes a refreshing tequila sunrise.
Perfect. Wow, that price is refreshing too.
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More, with the lowest prices in South Carolina. Drink responsibly.
I think so. I think so. You want to give me the day off, though, I'll be glad to go home.
Are we back? You want to hop on one more segment? Or?
Hey, you want me one more?
Yeah, no, stick around. We ain't got nowhere to go. Pull that back a little bit. Oh, if I can.
No, you don't need me in there.
All right. What do I need to be there? You said you don't want to be there. John Whittle hanging around for another segment. He has done most of his work out here this morning. Tony Andon will be along in just a little while. Look forward to catching up with him. But you and I were talking yesterday on the phone in the English Premier League, buddy. I understand a wild finish there with Liverpool and Man City, and I didn't get to watch it. We were on the road. But I understand a very entertaining finish for the EPL this year.
Yeah, well, there's always usually a battle for first place and the Champions League spots and relegation. And there were battles yesterday for two that ended up going down to the final minute. And, my team was in the Champions League battle and didn't come out on top. Yeah, sad for me and the boys from Arsenal, especially when you lose out to your rival for that last spot. But,
is that bad news for Jay Phillips? Does that mean we get a very whiny Jay Phillips today from 12-3?
Probably
okay.
So, yeah. But
right.
I don't think he was holding out much hope for anything yesterday. So he may not be as bad as he would have been if his team would have lost and blown it. Our team, I guess.
Okay. All right. So we'll catch up hopefully with Tony Annan, who will get out here in just a little while. We'll be able to catch up with him and get more thoughts and see that. Real quick, Lamont Paris expected out here later today to participate and hang around with some Gamecock Club Gamecock fans. Basketball right now, as we come to a conclusion, I don't want to harass Lamont too much. He's had to ask a lot of he's had to answer a lot of the tough questions, but what you can share, what you know about filling out the final 3 spots on that roster, kind of obviously Malachi Smith is the guy that they're waiting on, and they're going to hold a spot open to him until he says otherwise. But position wise, do you go more for the post? Do you try and have another scoring wing? Where do you think the allocation goes there?
Well, they wanted a big guy, and that was addressed there with the Illinois transfer. And from what I understand, scoring wing is where they want to go next. That's their chief priority left. That Malachi Smith, obviously, but they want somebody with a little bit of length who can shoot, and obviously that's what a lot of teams want. So they're certainly going to have a battle there for whoever they decide to go after. I wish I had a couple of names to drop on you right now, but I really don't. Maybe after the golf tournament today.
That's right.
Maybe we can get a couple of beers in Lamont and see how that goes. No, but I know that they've been working quite hard on the recruiting trail. It's a dead period, I believe, right now, at least today, in terms of being able to host or be out on the road or anything like that. So that's why he's able to sneak away for a few hours. I'm sure his phone will be blowing up, though.
One of the interesting things that I think he's got to figure out, maybe if he pops on, I'd just like to get it, is going to be this year's scheduling philosophy. And correct me if I'm wrong, we know they're going to Charleston, and you'll have Furman, and it's actually a really good tournament down there. I don't have it in front of me. I think it's Penn State might be down there as well. Obviously, College of Charleston is down there. Pat Kelsey, because I know Kelsey and Bob Ritchie are down there. But you've got that. I believe you make the return trip to D.C. for the Georgetown game. Clemson will be here. Florida State, even though it was a neutral site game, there's not going to be another neutral site game for that, is there?
Correct. That was just a one-off.
That was a one-off. I'm trying to think. I think UAB is going to be on the schedule again. He's actually a little more limited on scheduling and maybe trying to set up some confidence-gaining victories early on than I initially thought.
Yeah, well, as we know, football schedules are done decades in advance.
Yes.
Basketball schedules and baseball schedules, they're usually done for the most part a year or so out. So, most of the games that have been scheduled were done under Frank and the previous staff. And, there's ways to get out of contracts for games that don't make sense and so forth. And, I don't know how many of those they're going to do, but, the schedule isn't all that flexible, I don't think, for Lamont for this year. So we'll see probably more of his influence in the years going forward versus this year.
It's just when you look at trying to redo the roster, obviously a lot of transfers out, bringing a new team in. It might be one of those years where typically you would not schedule up as you would previously, maybe in years to come, and you get stuck a little bit like that. Real quick, baseball scheduling. The Texas series came about in an awkward fashion, but it ended up being a lot of fun for South Carolina fans. And seeing Texas this year come to Founders Park, even though it kind of got a little wonky with rain and maybe not the weekend that everybody hoped for in terms of like being able to really celebrate it. Do you anticipate any kind of more fun series like that? Or does South Carolina, you think, go back in the direction that they've always gone in the past with kind of the 3 cupcakes and then Clemson?
Well, it's really always up to that head coach and what they want to do. And Mark Kingston has said since he got here that he wants to play some marquee games like that. And he actually scheduled a tournament out in Houston for the COVID year, which was canceled. And obviously, so I think they'll probably try to do some fun things. But I don't know of anything like Texas offhand right now.
And still obviously a lot to be decided there about the future of the baseball. Well, Whittle, it's a beautiful day. You've done a great job. The pig is on the grill. You've got the sun out. It's going to be a lot of fun today. I appreciate you sticking around for a second segment. We'll catch up with you maybe later this morning. I know you got to do a little glad handing and make sure everybody gets to where they're going this morning, but appreciate you inviting us out and allowing us to be a part of the event.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming. Appreciate you all doing this and promoting the event. It should be a whole lot of fun out here today.
It will. We'll be back. Hour number 2 up next. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT FM East.
Boy, yeah. I'm going to walk and go get my golf club so that I'm prepared. Be right back.
I'll be right here. Try not to throw equipment out the window.
Want to speak to Amanda?
That's right. Yes. I never remember.
Anybody watch the All-Star race last night? Anybody? No. Bill had William Byron, so at least Byron didn't win. I'm happy for Blaney. Should have picked him. We need to tell our salespeople they need to find some place for us to be in Lexington. That would be awesome. Be on location. We'll see how long it takes Bill to get back with his golf clubs. Have to fill in. He went to his car. He's not coming back. He's already on the course. Oh, I hear him.
We can turn this around now. You can see out onto the driving range. There we go.
Do we really, Craig? I mean, do we really?
What did he ask?
So we need a What's in the Bag Bill Gunter edition. I have prevented workplace violence. I have unplugged something so that the computer stops doing silly things.
Should be able to see from there.
Well, we're about to come back in, but, you know. Hitting a ball in the driving range, much more important.
Oh. A very nice first shot of the day.
That's what we all wanted to see.
That was well struck, was straight.
That'll be the only shot of the morning.
Do what?
That'll probably be the only good shot of the morning.
It might be. A slightly weird arm injury there. We back?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll text you, but you have a 612-0 res.
712 res?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it for this hour. All right, patting you up.
7:01 on a Monday morning. Big thank you to John Whittle for being the first guest of the morning. Look forward to several other people popping in here as they arrive throughout the morning. As it's really starting to pick up a little bit just in terms of getting the course ready. And that's why we are out here to enjoy a beautiful day at Charwood Golf Club, the Fairways for Fisch BigSpur.com golf tournament taking place out here today, raising money for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund. Again, fun tournament today. We'll get going about 9 a.m. this morning. The registration will start at 7:30. We'll hope to have a few baseball players, former baseball players, stopping by this morning. Good buddy Jamie Bradford just hitting me up as well. He's on his way up, hoping he'll get here in time and pop him on, talk a little Gamecock sports. The South Carolina Now baseball program will get ready to head to Hoover, Alabama, where they will get going tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern time start. They are the 10 seed. They'll take on the 7 seed Florida Gators. It will be the 4th straight game. South Carolina dropping 2 of 3 this past weekend to Florida down in Gainesville. They finished the season 27-27 overall, 13-17 in conference play. And, you know, you hear kind of talking with Don Little. We'll see. We will see here in, I would guess, about the next 2 weeks what the South Carolina administration, the athletic department, elects to do with the baseball program. If they want to give Mark Kingston another year, if they deem he as the guy who can rebuild this thing, who maybe there was too many injuries this past season, the pitching has some potential down the line. Maybe he sees that when you talk about Justin Parker and Chad Callett, the 2 new coaches that he brought in to help last season in their first years. So there's a lot there, I think, that Ray Tanner and the administration will have to decide. Was this the anomaly of a year, or is this what this baseball program is under Mark Kingston? And that's going to be the decision the higher ups will have to make there at the university. If you want to weigh in on that throughout the morning, 803-404-6100. DJ weighing in and says everybody is focused on the pitching, and I get it. It's not good, but that's not the only reason the team is not good. Carolina is dead last in the SEC in every offensive category except 3, and those they are 12th, 13th. They are 12th and 13th in those. It's time for a change is where DJ comes from. If you want to weigh in again, 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning. Again, also talking about Justin Thomas yesterday, coming back from a 7-shot deficit to win his second PGA championship. A lot of fun yesterday. He defeats Will Zalatoris. And Thomas was asked earlier in the week if he thought any lead was safe. And Thomas had said no, he didn't think any lead was safe with the way that Southern Hills was playing and some of the forecast for the weather out there, and that turned out to be true as he shoots a 67 yesterday to come back and get himself into a playoff. Not only get himself into it, but then to be able to win a playoff. It was the first playoff in a major since the 2017 Masters. That was when Sergio Garcia was able to win the green jacket and knock off Justin Rose. The 19 straight majors without a playoff was the longest streak in major championship history. So Thomas, his second one of his career, the first one coming at Quail Hollow up in Charlotte back in 2017. If you want to weigh in on that this morning, 803-404-6100. You can do that. Some playoffs yesterday, or throughout the weekend, I should say. But last night, Golden State goes into Dallas. They knock off the Mavericks 109-100. That puts them up 3-0 in that series. On Saturday night, the Miami Heat, who are banged up, man. They are banged up. Jimmy Butler having to leave that game with inflammation in his knee. Kyle Lowry still kind of being bothered by a little bit of a hamstring injury. Tyler Hero's got a quad injury and is a little banged up. The Heat are just, that's a walking mash unit right now. We'll see if they get Jimmy Butler back for Game 4 against the Celtics. That game will be tonight, 8:30. That's definitely been a very entertaining series, but you'll get Game 4 tonight, 8:30. That game will be on ABC, where you can see that. Miami at Boston tomorrow night. Golden State will look to close out Dallas in Game 4 in Dallas. And I am a Heat fan. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm also kind of pulling for a Miami Golden State final. Jimmy Butler's a lot of fun when he's healthy to watch. The Heat are a lot of fun, and Golden State, I think, is the most entertaining team in the NBA. Steph Curry, it's hard to dislike Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I can understand if you're not a Draymond Green fan. I get it, but he actually has his own unique charm to him that makes it worth watching. So NBA playoffs currently coming to a conclusion here over the next 2-3 weeks. The NHL playoffs, I was really into those. That Rangers-Canes series has been pretty entertaining. The Rangers yesterday getting one game back up there in Madison Square Garden. They knock off the Canes 3-1. Tampa Bay thumping the Florida Panthers yesterday 5-1. They're up 3-0 in that series. It would be Tampa versus the winner of Carolina and New York. If both of those, if Tampa's able to advance, and then you get the Canes and the Rangers, hopefully the Canes will pull that one out, and you'd get the Canes and the Lightning, which would be a lot of fun. Edmonton yesterday, a 4-1 victory over Calgary. So a little bit of a playoff update for you there as it pertains to what's going on in the NHL and the NBA. Again, anything you hear this morning that you want to weigh in on, 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program. I mentioned earlier, we didn't get into the way everything kind of played out last week with Jimbo Fisher and with Nick Saban. Having time to digest this and really go back and look, and I think it was Travis on our live stream who said earlier, he said on the Saban Jimbo deal, after reading more on the audience that Saban was talking to, I really believe he was trying to drop hints and get them to help with the program, as there was a $100 a plate dinner. So that audience was big buck donors. I think to go back on this, what Nick Saban said, I said this on Thursday morning. What was shocking about what Nick Saban said was that he called out another team. He called out a former assistant coach. That was kind of crazy. He called out a team that's in his conference. That's kind of wild. He called out a team that was in his division. That's unheard of. Nick Saban, honestly, if you look at Nick Saban's quotes, you kind of go, well, yeah, everything he said is truth. It's what a lot of people are complaining about in college football these days, about where name, image, likeness has been taken with recruiting. Nick Saban really didn't say, he didn't even accuse Jimbo Fisher and his staff of cheating. Now, with that being said, there was no real reason to mention Texas A&M. It did come across as sour grapes when Saban is like, well, we had the number 2 recruiting class, and the only reason they had the number 1 recruiting class is because they incorporated name, image, likeness into it, and they bought their recruiting class. Well, technically, I guess that you're not supposed to incorporate name, image, likeness into the recruiting portion of the college football game. But if we're all honest about it, the players are going to ask questions. They're going to want to know. They're going to kind of want to know, hey, how did that go? What happened? Like, how are you going to help me with name, image, likeness? And as a coach, whether an assistant or head coach, you have to answer honestly and say, yeah, we've got a plan, and we've got donors and boosters, and we've got it lined up for you, and here's what you can actually do. And we'll kind of see if that's something that continues to happen, even though it's not supposed to happen. But I didn't think Saban really accused Fisher of cheating. Technically, I guess Jimbo Fisher did what most schools are trying to do, and he took advantage of the gray area to the fullest extent and landed a heck of a recruiting class. And Nick Saban wasn't happy about it. But it's interesting to see where all this is kind of popped up and gone. 803-404-6100. You can be a part of the program. Jen, let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Ray wants to weigh in on Nick Saban. Ray, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind? You there, Ray? Hey, there you are. Well, I'm in Charwood. Good. Okay. It is. Yeah, I didn't take it. Yeah, I didn't take it as arrogance. It came to me more as there's 2 portions to it. Like I said, I get what Nick Saban's saying. I think he's saying out loud what all of us think is that college ball is going down a bad path with name, image, likeness, and with how it's being used to recruit. I don't think there's any question about that. I think Nick Saban was explaining that, and I think he was doing a good job of it. It's just unheard of. And that's where you've seen the blowback. If Nick Saban had said all that he said, but said, hey, there's another school out there that, I don't think we'd be having this discussion. It's unheard of for coaches. That's why when Lane Kiffin was at Tennessee, and I think he was meeting with boosters, and he started talking about Florida and Urban Meyer, and he knew they had committed violations, and it was Nukeese Richardson, the wide receiver out of I think it was Pahokee down there, that he was referring to. Everybody's like, "Whoa, Lane Kiffin is a motor mouth. Lane Kiffin is not afraid to take shots at people." It was unheard of in the recruiting game. Steve Spurrier would take shots at people for the way they played, or obviously for Georgia and then the way they got people arrested. But he didn't, and he would take his small shots at Florida State about them driving some vehicles, but not to the extent that Saban basically just like, yeah, they paid for everything they just got. Yeah. Yeah. Unwritten. I agree. There definitely is something to it. Appreciate the phone call, Ray. We'll certainly continue. You too. Certainly, we will continue to talk about this morning. We'll get back into a little bit of golf, get back into some baseball. It's Bill Gunter. It's Jen Jensen. We're out here at Charwood Golf Club. The Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament this morning is turning into a beautiful morning. Some people are starting to show up, getting ready to hit some balls and get loose. We're about an hour and a half away from tee time. We got plenty to get to this morning. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Memorial Day is just days away. And that might mean you're having a Memorial Day party this weekend. You got family coming over. You're ready to hang out and enjoy whatever it is you do, barbecue, the lake, the pool, whatever. But you know what? With having people over, you better make sure you're having a clean home. And that's why I always turn to Zero Res. You always hear a lot about Memorial Day sales. And I tell you what, this is something you actually do need. Call Zero Res today, 803-262-4020. Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning is the best of the best to get your home clean and healthy. And right now, you can take advantage of their Memorial Day sale going on 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunter at 107.5 The Game, you get a hallway cleaned for free. So you can schedule online, zerorescolumbia.com. You can give them a phone call, 803-262-4020. Again, right now, 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunter at 107.5 The Game, you get a hallway clean for free. So don't wait any longer. Have that house clean and ready for Memorial Day weekend with the Memorial Day sale from Zero Res, 803-262-4020, or book with ease online, zerorescolumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, is the right way to clean. That was my fault on the audio. I've got to remember to turn myself off and turn the studio on from here. That is what I have to do. All right, let's see. So like right now, let's see if we should be able to hear Jen here in a second.
Your forecast for today. We're looking at seeing some rain and storms.
So we just got to remember to do that. Craig, I play the Mizuno 23 irons. Mizuno, was it MP23s, I believe? Yeah, Jen, that was my fault. I got to remember that when we come back from breaks, I got to cut the live stream audio on and cut me off so that anything goes. That was me. Oh, what'd you get there, RL? What were the clubs? Yeah, let's see, Craig. Let me. Yeah, I've had these for a while, but I love these Mizuno irons. I'm a big fan of the Mizuno irons. There you go, Danny. Okay. Get out there and get a few practice swings in. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's always the good thing about golf. You're never too old to learn how to play. You just got to always take it in stride. Learn to always have a speaker, maybe a cigar, maybe your beverage of choice, and go out and enjoy being outside. that still is one of the crazier things to me that I've learned in the last few years, that is how much I enjoy being outside. I always thought I was an inside kid. Turns out I'm an outside kid.
The playing music is the part that's taken me a while to get used to, because it used to be, got to be quiet and all that.
Hell McGranahan. We might have to get Hell McGranahan on in a segment here. Get all the recruiting scoop. You doing all right? You playing this morning?
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. Say hello to Hale there as he walks through. Hale, wave.
Hey.
Hey, look at that guy.
All hail, hail.
All hail, hail. Robin, good luck. Final Monday of the 2021-2022 school year.
Nice.
Yeah, RL, don't ever go be that person on the golf course that gets angry and starts slamming clubs and everything. Just go have a good time.
Exactly.
Not worth it.
It's easy to get frustrated, but having a big meltdown, not
Exactly.
Good. No.
All right, we got to give some love to Lexington Soccer Academy here, the black team. We'll see if Mike D gets angry. Hopefully Mike D's not listening anymore. You talk about kids last week and he gets offended. We're good. Oh, they're getting the carts ready. Let me see, the carts are, oh, they just drove off, but, oh, wait. Got more Whittle. How's it going there? Okay, excellent work.
Oh, you're not on? No, you're not on.
Not on. Not on right now.
Got about a minute and a half, the most.
We will get maybe another shot. What is it, Jen? I think that was my only live this hour, so maybe the next break we can hit another golf ball or two, get loosened up. I do feel like I pulled a muscle in my shoulder. I guess that's what 40 does when you start playing golf. I got swung. I felt but I hit it straight. I hit it good too. I feel good. I feel good coming into today for how I'm playing. I feel confident.
We're all so relieved.
Like, I feel like if this was like a press conference setting, I would be talking right now. I feel good where my game is at heading into the tournament today.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Early game
with Bill Gunter, Patrick Perez, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The Early Game, 107.5.
The Game.
On a Monday morning, Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, live from Charwood Golf Club for the Fairways for Fisch, the BigSpur.com golf tournament today. Should be a lot of fun. The weather has changed a little bit on us here, and it's going to end up being very nice this afternoon. Tee time set for 9 a.m. this morning. Look forward to hanging out and playing. Just saw Hale McGranahan walk by with the BigSpur.com. We'll get him on here in just a little while to get you a little bit of update on recruiting as South Carolina heading into this summer, getting ready for some big camps and everything for recruiting. Hopefully Tony Annan will be by here shortly, the head men's soccer coach for the University of South Carolina, who have enjoyed talking with. And speaking of a little bit of soccer, got to give a little bit of love. Got to give the kids some love sometimes. And you've heard me talk about my son Austin and playing with the Lexington Soccer Academy. The Lexington Soccer Academy black team, the elite team this weekend went down to the Savannah United Spring Invitational and won it. And congratulations to those kids. I've gotten to know a bunch of those kids, and they deserve a lot of love and a lot of attention for what they did. Nate Weingartner, Charlie Small, Nayland Shinoy, Owen Rowley, Bennett Papa, Hudson Nichols, Camden Mars, Anthony Lopez, call him Ant-Man, what he does out there. Charlie Hicks, you got Davey Hendricks, Dyson Carroll. So if you see those kids at school today, or if you know them, give them a little high five. They were fantastic this weekend down in Savannah. Went 3-0 for Coach Doug Williams, and proud of them. Proud of the academy they have there at Lexington Soccer Academy. They go down to Savannah this weekend. So you got to give them the 9 and 10-year-old boys down there. Got to give some love to those kids for the job they did this weekend in Savannah. And again, Tony Annan will be along shortly. We'll catch up and talk a little soccer with him as well. The EPL yesterday finishing up. And I know a lot of you, we were on the road back from Savannah, so I did not get to watch that. 803-404-6100. So congratulations to the Lexington Soccer Academy team this weekend going down to Savannah, winning the Savannah United Spring Invitation. A lot of great kids on that team, a lot of great parents as well. If you want to be a part of the program, 803-404-6100, how you can join us. Talking a little bit about, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, and this is something that'll drag on through the summer because now we go into the dead months. I was just talking about getting Hill McGranahan on here in the coming minutes and being able to talk a little recruiting, and certainly South Carolina's got some camps coming up, and they'll work to get a few more commitments here with official visits getting going in 2 weeks. But this situation with Saban and Fisher, now what I really like about it is Steve Spurrier. You knew Steve Spurrier wanted to weigh in on this, and it's clear that Steve Spurrier thinks very highly of Nick Saban. So Steve Spurrier deciding on Friday he needed to throw his 2 cents into the mix, and he said this is in terms of the conversation between Saban and Fisher, and Spurrier saying, I don't know why Fisher is mad at Saban. Did Saban say something that was not true? He would then kind of go on to kind of take a few more shots there at Jimbo Fisher. Remember, Fisher and Spurrier faced off in, I believe it was the 2010 Chick-fil-A Bowl. That was the game that Lattimore got knocked out early on. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Derwin James, the safety. South Carolina ran a screen pass out of the backfield on the opening series, and I believe it was Derwin James who got him. But it's funny to see Steve Spurrier still getting involved in this and the way that he kind of approaches it. But what you've got right now in college football in particular, because I've talked with people about college basketball recruiting, and name, image, likeness is going to play a role in college basketball recruiting, certainly. But I still am of the opinion that the shoe companies have far more control in college basketball. And you kind of see that because you've got Overtime Elite and you've got the G League, and you can push kids here or there, and you can kind of dictate a few things, because in basketball, the rule is 1 year. If you identify a high school senior, high school junior, and you're Nike or you're Adidas, or, if you're Under Armour, you're wanting to get that kid into your shoe organization as quickly as possible. So you have a little bit more influence because you're holding off for 1 year. Maybe you can get them to a Nike school, or maybe you can get them to an Adidas school if you're that thing, and you've got them kind of under your umbrella for 1 year. Whereas, let's just use Jadeveon Clowney as an example. You know how good he could be when he was at South Point. Well, if you send him somewhere, Alabama, South Carolina, you get the point, wherever he went, you knew that you still had to wait 3 years before you could maybe get him back under your umbrella. So it's a lot more difficult for shoe companies to have control in the college football industry as opposed to the college basketball industry. So how do you offset that in football? Well, you get name, image, likeness involved. And that's where we're seeing these schools and these programs really being able to benefit. We'll see if the NCAA is able to step in a little bit more as we move forward and kind of, dictate what the rules are going to be. Are we going back to the situation where teams are doing it under the radar? $1 million question on that. Who knows how everything is going to play out as it moves forward. So that's something that we'll certainly continue to talk a lot about, because of the fact that it is such a huge part of football recruiting these days. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning, be a part of the program. Marshall, Drew, we'll get to some of your comments. We got Hale McGranahan will join us. We'll talk a little football recruiting with Hale and get you an update on South Carolina and where they kind of stand heading into the month of June. And again, I want to give a shout out to the Lexington Soccer Academy Black team. A lot of those kids, fantastic job over the weekend. A lot of great parents that were involved in that, getting them down to Savannah. A lot of fun. So neat to see those kids succeed and be able to get a medal. Saw some pictures yesterday from them, and glad they were able to go out and get a medal. So they can go to school this morning. Parents, if your kid played for the Lexington Soccer Academy Black team, buy them a donut. Treat them to a donut this morning on a Monday morning. It's Bill Gunter, the official spokesperson for Donuts for Kids across America, because that's what's healthy, right? You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
30 years ago, the South Carolina Gamecocks entered the SEC.
The exclamation point in the swamp.
Hey, what's up? Nah. Oh yeah, it's beautiful out here. It's looking like it's gonna be rain's like coming in like 2, 3 o'clock and everything kind of change. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from out here. Yeah, come on, you're all set up and good to go. Just show up with a few balls. You got, I'm sure they'll have beverages and everything else out of now. Yeah, well, we're good to go. All you gotta do is show up, and warm yourself up, and we'll be ready to go. Yeah, we'll see y'all right around now. I'm not sure yet. Hold 1 second. All right.
You want air right in a second?
I am.
Okay, I didn't want to come by your hall.
Oh no, you're fine. Add to some background noise. All right, so we got a couple things here. Where did I see hell? I'm gonna have to get. $732. Give you another live look here at the range. We'll get you. There is another live look there down the. So I see a couple people that are getting the registration set up over there. I tell you what, I don't know if in the next break, we may have to go see if we can get a picture of that pig and show you what they got cooking over there, because it looks good and smells incredible. I ate early yesterday. Austin had never eaten Five Guys. So we took him to Five Guys to get a Five Guys burger. Need to get a good picture of the pig, and also a few more live shots of the range. See if we can. Got almost all the carts. All right, Jen. We'll probably make this a Jen's on the phone.
Jen's trying to decide whether to stay for the rest of the show.
Uh-oh. Awesome.
All right, you're up.
803-404-6100. How you can be a part of the program. Let's talk a little bit about the Lexington Soccer Academy and their great weekend. Kevin Heisey, good buddy of mine over at Gray Collegiate. Yeah, I agree with him. Donuts for the Congaree Rapid FC Sky 08B14U team who won the gold division title at Savannah Spring United. So congratulations to those kids as well. It's always fun to give the kids a little bit of love out there. So Kevin, congratulations to the Congaree Rapid as well. And you're exactly right, parents. Get them kids donuts. This is it. Final full week of the school. Obviously, Memorial Day next weekend. We will be off next Monday. We'll be off next Monday, and I'll get to actually enjoy a day off. Trust me, I'm looking forward to that. 3-day weekend. So we look forward to enjoying that next week. Patrick will be back with us on Tuesday morning. A couple of you weighing in on the Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher situation. A couple things. RL says, I wonder if Steve Spurrier has been offered a job in the SEC offices. I couldn't see him as a day-to-day administrator, but maybe as an advisor and an ambassador. I think Spurrier's pretty happy with the job he's got going on down in Gainesville, where he basically just kind of wanders in and out of offices. That was kind of the running joke there to everybody, that Spurrier would just pop in on Dan Mullen, start drawing up plays on the whiteboard, telling them what to do, how they should do things, then pop on back out and head on off, maybe go hit some golf balls. So Spurrier's got a pretty good gig there. A couple of you also weighing in. Marshall saying, should Saban have named any particular team or coach? No. All he actually was doing was playing to a fundraising room, telling them what may be inevitable and trying to go ahead and get them potentially on board. Drew weighing in and says, at least Saban said what was on his mind instead of cryptic messages for talking heads trying to overanalyze, causing 2 or 3 coaches to respond with cryptic responses. And again, I'll say this as regards to Nick Saban last week. I don't think he was, and maybe he was. Nick Saban is a pretty calculating guy. I mean, let's be honest about that. You don't get to have that level of success in life, coaching, business, whatever, without being a pretty smart guy and knowing how to get your message across. Was he taking a pot shot at Texas A&M? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say he wasn't. Was he saying anything that wasn't true, though? Was he accusing them of doing something that a lot of people are not doing? No. And also, and this is where I'm okay with Saban, and what he was kind of saying is that he doesn't believe that college football should be that way. He kind of pointed out about, his guys come to campus and then they make their name, image, likeness, money. We'll see how it kind of all plays out in the years to come. I think that's going to be the really interesting thing, is how all this plays out. The NCAA, and if you watched it, you saw the SEC shorts. They jumped in. I'm sure they got the gang together very quickly and put together that little video, and it was funny. I actually thought it could have been funnier, but one of the things they said was they referred to the NCAA as a toothless shell of a corporation. Really cannot do anything. Name, image, likeness will not be controlled, in my opinion, especially in college football, by the NCAA. That ship has sailed. Name, image, likeness will have to be controlled by an entity that will be the new formation of whatever college football turns out to be. If it's the Power Five separating and becoming a Power Four, or whatever the new world order of college football becomes. And I don't know when this will be, 2025, 2030. I think it was the Notre Dame athletic director who seemed to think it was going to be in the mid 2030s. Whatever college football will become will dictate what name, image, likeness is going to be, because I don't know where the NCAA all of a sudden draws the strength and the power to be able to start regulating this thing. I've said it before. If you really break down the NCAA college football model, it's ESPN who owns the bowl games. And ESPN owns them because they need something to put on during the month of December and showcase. And, I say that because here's what could happen. The NCAA could say, let's just use Texas A&M, hypothetically. They could say, Texas A&M, you can't go to a bowl game. You're suspended for a year. And ESPN could overrule them and say, you know what? You're not hurting our product. If we want to put Texas A&M against North Carolina in the Orange Bowl or whatever, that's what we're going to do, because it's our product. We sell advertising, and you're not taking away from our product. And the NCAA really doesn't have. The NCAA, hypothetically, the only thing the NCAA could do is to say, all right, well, that's fine, Texas A&M, you're not playing in our basketball tournament. Because you didn't listen to us in football, your basketball team cannot participate in our basketball tournament. So it's going to be very interesting over time to see how all this plays out with the NCAA and the NIL and Nick Saban. I think in my opinion, what he was saying last Wednesday night to a local leaders business meeting there in Birmingham was basically saying, here's where college football is heading, and this is not where it should be. Should have he pointed out that it was Texas A&M that did it? Well, that's for you to make your own decision and judgment there. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us this morning if you want to be a part of the program. You're listening to Bill Gunter. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
They're coming out one moment with a baby.
I need to see. .46 on a very beautiful, or what should be a very beautiful Monday morning. Kids wrapping up the school year. Adults playing in more Monday golf tournaments. We're out here, the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament, put on by thebigspur.com. It's been a lot of fun so far. Next hour, we will have a good bit of guests stopping by. Hale McGranahan will come on by, and we'll talk a little recruiting with him. Again, we're out here at Charwood Golf Course. It's the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament. It is raising money for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund, and we will continue to promote that this morning. It just is. I want to continue to promote and give a little love to the kids as they head to school. The Lexington Soccer Academy Black team, I'd mentioned them earlier. My son plays in that academy, so I think it's always fun when kids get an opportunity to hear their name and when they do something awesome. And the Lexington Soccer Academy Black team this weekend winning the Savannah United Spring Invitation. I'll give those kids a shout out one more time. Dyson Carroll, Davis Hendricks, Charlie Hicks, Anthony Lopez, Camden Mars, Hudson Nichols, Bennett Papa, Owen Rowley, Nayland Shinoy, my man Charlie Small, and Nate Weingartner. So I think it's always cool to be able to give a little bit of love to the younger kids out there who participate and play hard and, end up going on to do great things. And that group did it. My guy Kyle Heisey was hitting me up on our live stream and wanted to give a little bit of love to his team, the Congaree Rapid FC B14U team, who won the gold division down there in Savannah United, the Savannah United Spring Invitational as well. So a lot of really cool things here for local soccer with the kids, and want to certainly always give, just like we do with the Corley Pools High School highlights of the week, where we like to highlight what's going on around the Midlands with Chris Deering and give the high schools a little bit of love. It's fun to highlight some of the younger kids and what they do as they travel around the state, whether it's baseball or soccer or basketball, AAU basketball, or whatever it may be. So always glad to be able to give that shout out to those kids. So congratulations again to everybody out there, and especially some of those kids that were with the Lexington Soccer Academy Black team this past weekend. 803-404-6100. They can be a part of it, talking about Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, and certainly the back and forth they had. We've also talked about South Carolina baseball, and they dropped 2 of 3 to Florida in Gainesville this past weekend to fall to 27-27 on the season. They finished 13-7 in conference play, and we'll see where they go. Tomorrow they play at 2 p.m. Against the 4th consecutive game against Florida. South Carolina is the 10 seed, Florida the 7 seed. It is the single elimination portion of the bracket, and it'll be something that we had John Whittle on in the first hour, and I don't know if there's a lot of you out there who anything that South Carolina did or has done over the last week, dating back to the loss to Charlotte and moving forward, and anything they could do in this particular tournament that would change your opinion or give you hope for the future, because that's where South Carolina baseball is really at right now, is hope for the future. And what is this program going to be? This season's
barring a miracle run, which none of us really put a lot of expectation into, the season's over. So what is the future of this baseball program? Can they get better? Is Mark Kingston going to be the guy that can get them to, I was going to say back to Omaha, but right now it's back to hosting regionals on a consistent basis. And, where are we going with that situation? Because it's great to say, well, yeah, the expectation is Omaha. Well, South Carolina's got to get back to hosting regionals on a consistent basis, 3 out of 4 years. Getting to super regionals 2 out of 4. I think those are very fair expectations for South Carolina moving forward. And can they or can they not do that under Mark Kingston is going to be the big question that needs to be asked this really in the next 2 weeks if that decision has not already been made. And we'll see how that kind of plays out and what happens there for South Carolina. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see where the administration goes on this. Money should not be an issue. That really shouldn't be the problem. South Carolina is still expected to have plenty of money coming in over the coming years and what they do there. So 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on that. Certainly that'll be a hot topic. Again, tomorrow down in Hoover, 2 o'clock is the scheduled start time. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. You'll also be able to catch it on the SEC network. Again, tomorrow is the single elimination portion. If South Carolina can win tomorrow, they would advance to the double elimination portion of the SEC schedule. And again, for South Carolina to get to the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to go and win the entire thing. So we'll see. We'll continue to talk about that throughout the day here on 107.5 The Game. Currently, we are out here. Myself, Jen is back in studio. We are out here at Charwood Golf Club for the Fairways for Fish BigSpur.com golf tournament, where we are hoping to raise a good bit of money for Ryan Fisher, the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund. Really cool event going on today. Tee time slated for about 9 a.m. this morning, and we will get into a little bit of recruiting discussion in the next hour with Hale McGranahan, who's out here with the BigSpur.com. So we'll catch up with him in about 10 minutes, if that's good for him. We'll also catch up with some other players and coaches who are going to be swinging by here in the next hour to talk with them and kind of get a little bit of context on what's going on in their sports. Tony Annan expected to be by here in the next hour, as well as Lamont Paris, if he is able to get out here in time. They will both be participating out here today. Again, last night, NBA playoffs, the Dallas Mavericks dropped their first home game to Golden State. So Golden State moves to 3-0 in the series there, and they are 1 win away from advancing back to the NBA World Championships. It's kind of crazy what Golden State's been able to put together. You think about building from within with Steph Curry, with Klay Thompson, with Draymond Green, none of those guys free agents. Then obviously they go out and they bring in a Kevin Durant. But you get the little injuries to Steph Curry and then to Klay Thompson, and they're able to kind of regroup, go out, pick up. And Andrew Wiggins has been a big part of that team defensively and what he's brought to them to be a shutdown defender. It's going to be interesting to see how long they can keep this kind of new run going. Last year, we saw the Phoenix Suns make the World Championship and take on the Milwaukee Bucks, but it ended up being Golden State who knocked them out in the previous series, or Dallas knocking out Phoenix. But it looks like Golden State is the team that's set to win. I don't have it right in front of me as I say this out loud. I was gonna give my personal opinion. I think Golden State would be the betting favorite if you ask me. Golden State, and then I would have the Miami Heat followed by the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks if I was ranking my top 4 right now in the Heat, with a 2-1 series lead over the Boston Celtics after their win on Saturday night. Those two teams will play tonight, 8:30 ABC, game 4 there in Boston, as the Miami Heat just trying to stay healthy. Jimmy Butler, questionable for tonight. He had right knee inflammation and was pulled from the game at halftime on Saturday. So we'll see if he is back tonight. Tyler Hero also dealing with a quad injury and has not really been able to play the way they would like him to play. So interesting to see if the Heat can continue to maintain the advantage, some of the advantages that they've shown in 2 of the first 3 games. Bam Adebayo was absolutely phenomenal on Saturday night. really being more aggressive, 15 of 22 from the field in that game, taking more shots, really attacking the Celtic big guys, both off the dribble and in the low post to try and be able to score to make up for some of the scoring losses that the Heat have suffered there with Jimmy Butler going out, and then with Tyler Hero not being able to come off the bench and be as effective as he typically is. So just some NBA talk there. Again, NHL's the Carolina Hurricanes dropping their first game in the series with the New York Rangers yesterday. That game up at MSG, and the Rangers pulling out a 3-1 victory. So that series now 2-1. The Canes would end up playing the Tampa Bay Lightning if they can advance, or that's the way I think it's going to shake out. The Lightning thumping the Florida Panthers yesterday 5-1. So the Lightning up 3-0 in that series, with game 4 slated for tomorrow night in Tampa. It'd be a kind of a shock to me if Tampa does not sweep that series, as they are the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions, and it looks like Tampa is starting to turn it on here at the right time of the year. So a little NHL, NBA coming up next hour. We'll catch up with Hale McGranahan in about 7 minutes and talk a little Gamecock football recruiting, see where he sees things heading as we start to close out the month of May. We'll catch up with a few other celebrities who are starting to arrive out here at the driving range. You might have to go to the live stream and watch some of these guys hitting out here on the live stream. We'll put a little pressure on them, put them on the internet, see how they can perform when some live stream viewers are watching them. And then we've got plenty more coming up in the next hour. It's Bill Gunter. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. We're out here live at Charwood Golf Club, the Fairways for Fish Golf Tournament here, put on by thebigspur.com. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. One more hour up next.
Gamecocks, Braves, the NFL with live local radio. 107.5 The Game, WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia, a Cumulus media station.
Hi, Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelry. Everybody knows that diamonds are a girl's best friend, but did you know that now there's a new kind of diamond that's sure to become a girl's new best friend? I'm talking about lab-grown diamonds, of course. They're exquisite, they're stunning, and they're incredibly affordable. Best of all, if you're looking for something big, they eliminate the need to settle for a lower grade stone, because now you can get a beautiful, eye-clean, bright 1-carat diamond for just $14.99. Or how about a gorgeous 2-carat diamond for just $29.99? Or if you want to go really big, how about a 3-carat for just $10,000? Of course, we still carry diamonds that come from the earth, and we always will, because there's nothing more romantic than an earth.
Turn this around so straight out of the Jen Jensen playbook right there when not happy with how something ends.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Final hour from Charwood Golf Club for the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament put on by the BigSpur.com is now the range starting to really fill up, and a lot of people who look very, very serious at 8:01 a.m. on a Monday morning. You would think people would be a lot happier, Hale McGranahan, that they're at a golf course, a golf tournament on a Monday. But we got a lot of these. These are, I think, these are all the guys who show up, and they're definitely here to win the tournament.
Well, our members at the Big Spur, they're competitive folks, so I expect nothing less. I think we got some serious folks out here.
Some people are ready to go. They're hitting the range for what should be a beautiful day out here. Again, the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament at Charwood Golf Club put on by the BigSpur.com, raising money for the Ryan Fisher Baseball Manager Scholarship Fund, which is a really cool thing. We had John Whittle on and talked a little bit about that in the previous hour. And now catch up with Hale McGranahan of the BigSpur.com. He is now the recruiting guru. As you sit there with your sunglasses on and your hat, you look like you were prepared for this moment from the get-go. And let's kind of talk about recruiting for a second. I think a lot of people look at it and would say it's been a little slow. South Carolina sits here with just one public commitment that we're aware of. Zabari Sandy, 6'2", 205-pound safety out of the D.C. area. But this is now for you. It's almost like a vacation week for you, because after Memorial Day, camps, official visits will start going, camps will kick off, and you would expect to see South Carolina's recruiting efforts now start to pay off a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. And they've, you alluded to the one public commitment, and I think most people are aware of by now. There are a couple guys out there who've made silent commitments and have yet to reveal those decisions. So a little more momentum than maybe you would see if you pull up a commitment list or what have you. And I think we'll really start to see things, as you said, Bill, really picking up here in the next couple of weeks as the official visits get going. They've got 2 weekends earmarked in June. South Carolina does June 10th. That weekend is a big one. As I sit here and look at my count, there's going to be about 8 or 9 guys right now, probably more, who will make plans to be in. Definitely more who will make plans to be in that weekend. And then that final weekend in June, the 24th, is the last weekend before a dead period kicks in. I think it's like the 28th or the 29th before the end of the month. So another lengthy list on the Big Spur. We've got 11 guys down so far for that. So I would expect maybe a couple more to get going in. I think they try to limit it to 12 to 14 guys total, because you don't want to stretch yourself too thin when you're trying to make sure everybody needs to get the proper amount of attention and see all the things that they want these guys seeing when they're in for their official visits.
Who, if we had to name 3 or 4 guys, and I can name a couple, you can name a couple. Mm-hmm. Dylan is it Lonergan? I think I said that correctly the second time. But the quarterback out of Brookwood, Georgia. I know Grayson Howard, Pup Howard, the linebacker, who's really kind of blown up. Yeah. I think his star ranking doesn't fit the kind of prospect he is. South Carolina's battling Florida, Georgia. Anytime now, Texas A&M, I think, gets mentioned with a recruit. I think most people throw their hands up and be like, well, we can't get that kid, Texas A&M. But, Clemson's in there. Mm-hmm. Grayson Howard certainly is a big name that now South Carolina fans probably want to follow. Who are some of the 2 or 3 bigger names that you are really tracking this month that South Carolina will get on campus?
Yeah.
Or I should say next month in June.
Right. So that first weekend official visit, weekend the 10th, Lonergan, like you said, he 4-star quarterback from Snellville, Georgia, in the Atlanta area, been the guy that they've been recruiting at that position since last June. He emerged around that time, and it's just been him that they've been going after. So I'd say he's got to be at the top of that list. They got another highly rated guys, the highest rated of all the guys who are coming in that month, I think. Yeah, Kelby Collins, defensive lineman from Gardendale, Alabama, will be in that weekend as well. Jane Greathouse, receiver from Austin, Texas, who, it's interesting. He was on campus in April. He came in with his mom, and South Carolina didn't really have much of a shot at that point, to be honest with you. And now they're in his top 4, and he's got an official visit coming in, and the only team that might be ahead of him is Notre Dame. So that weekend, another big time guy, Jay Braun Harvey, defensive end. That's real significant when you're talking about positions of need for that class in particular. And another guy who made plans last week that we talked about on the Big Spur, Kelton Henderson, a receiver from down in Florida who's a really talented guy, really explosive type of wiggle receiver. Then that 24th weekend, Trayon Webb, the running back from Jacksonville, Marquis Anderson, offensive lineman from up at Dormond, another receiver, and Aiden Williams, couple guys playing the front seven. You mentioned Grayson Howard. His nickname's Pup Howard. So just very, very big time list for both of those weekends.
What can you tell us about the two Dorman offensive linemen? Marquis Anderson's a guy that they've pursued very heavily, really. I would venture to say one of the top 5 guys I would say that they've gone as hard as they can early on, going back to last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, that seemed to be a guy that they targeted very quickly. Dorman historically has been more of a Clemson school, but now Dustin Curtis, who was a former South Carolina manager or has strong ties to South Carolina, he's now the coach up there. And I'm not saying that always helps, but it doesn't hurt as much we know. But Marquis Anderson and DJ Geth, a guy who just landed an offer within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Marquis, he was prioritized by the previous South Carolina staff. They saw what he did. I guess he would have been a sophomore when Dorman was playing Gaffney, and they had Tyree and Ingram Dawkins, who's now at Georgia, and Marquis just handled him the entire game. And for that staff, they're like, all right, we're on them. And, of course, the previous staff saw all the same things and immediately all over him. And DJ Geth, like you mentioned, was offered last week, and a guy they've had their eye on for a while. He's been up here or down here from Dorman several times. I want to say he came to camp last summer. I can't remember for sure. But certainly a guy that they know pretty well and have spent some time around. And Greg Atkins was up there at Dorman watching practice and decided to make the move. And he will also be in that weekend of the 24th. The Marquis will be back in Columbia as well.
Going back to quarterback recruiting, and, you and I, we've been around each other. We've known each other. I was in the recruiting thing for a while. One of the interesting things I think is about to change is I almost think with the transfer portal being the way it is, coaching staffs may have to start taking 2 quarterbacks in every class. You may have to allocate 2 quarterbacks because you look now and you take Spencer Rattler out, but South Carolina's quarterback room is pretty strong. Gauthier is here for what'll be his second full season. Luke Doty's been around now for 3 seasons. You're going to have Braden Davis and you're going to have Tanner Bailey, and that doesn't count if you land Lonergan. Just stop me if I'm saying it, because I was saying it correctly and then said Lonergan. But I mean, that's 5 guys, and quite honestly, that doesn't count Spencer Rattler, but those 5 guys. But it's hard to figure all 5 finishing. I would put the over-under at 1.5 on finishing their career at South Carolina if you have those 5 guys.
Yeah, it's going to – I don't know if I agree with your first point about bringing 2 guys
2 in every class.
That's because you run into the deal where you got to make sure it's okay with the first guy that's saying, hey, we're going to keep recruiting quarterbacks. Are you okay with that? And generally speaking, that doesn't always sit well. And
I guess if you land an elite, like top 5 quarterback nationally, but to me, I think with the transfer portal, the quarterback position, you can go from riches to rags pretty quickly,
right?
In the blink of an eye. I mean, you can go into an offseason. It's not insane to think that next offseason that you could have Davis, Bailey, and say a Luke Doty just transfer out. Like if Colton Gauthier looks great or something. I think that's the crazy thing about the how people have to handle the quarterback room now in recruiting.
I guess my counter to that, though, is you look at what they were able to do last year.
Right.
Bringing in Jason Brown, and even though Zeb technically wasn't a transfer quarterback, you were still able to bring in guys who were experienced at other schools. So if you do find yourself getting shorthanded and you can't sign enough high school quarterbacks, and then you always have the portal as a resource to maybe, help build your numbers a little bit.
Go into that portal real quick. I think South Carolina has 1 scholarship spot left. Am I right? For the previous class. Are they done, or can they bring in a one transfer portal guy this summer that could I guess you could always bring it in, and it's since they don't enroll till August, I guess they can count forward to the next class. But is the previous class done?
Full. It's full. Nate Atkins, Greg Atkins' son.
Yep.
Son of the offensive line coach.
That was the final
one. Played tight end East Tennessee State. Yep. He was the final one. And Yeah, and like you said, they could always bring guys in and count them forward to 23. That's certainly a possibility, but at this point, I don't think they're really actively looking for any guys. Now, I think part of the I guess the holdup with that is guys have to be in the portal by May 1st, or have had to tell their school by May 1st that they intend to enter. So maybe that pool of players to choose from isn't what it maybe could be if that wasn't in place, that rule.
Before we let you go here, Nhl McGranahan joining us with thebigspur.com, give me the 4 guys. Give me 4 guys. We'll say 3 or 4 that you think South Carolina is in the best shape with that could fall to the Gamecocks in the month of June. That maybe you're making a visit. Guys that you just look at and say, okay, those 3 or 4, and they might not be very highly rated. They might be very highly rated, but just 3 or 4 guys you say right now, based on your gut feeling, South Carolina's in good shape with, and maybe they're much closer to pulling the trigger than down the line in the season or during December.
Yeah, in the month of June specifically, that's kind of tough to answer because there are several guys who are kind of waiting till the end of the summer, July, August, right around the time their season starts. But guys who I'll say this, 4 guys I feel really good about going into the month of June who've made plans to take official visits. Trevon Ball, the offensive lineman, he'll actually make a decision this Saturday. I think South Carolina's in a really good spot for him. I do like where they are with Marquis Anderson. They're competing with Clemson a little bit, more so competing with North Carolina. But I think if you're South Carolina, you got to feel good about your chances of an in-state guy when you're competing against a school like North Carolina. Beyond those 2 offensive line, Dylan Lonergan maybe depends on how things shake out with some of the quarterback dominoes, especially with Alabama and Arch Manning and Eli Holstein, who former Texas A&M commitment, who about a month ago everybody was really, really confident that he was going to end up going to Alabama, and then all of a sudden he visited LSU a couple times in about a week, and he's from Louisiana. But nonetheless, still feel good about where things are with Dylan Lonergan and the Gamecocks. And for a 4th name that's on the list, Grayson Howard he's been to South Carolina probably 8 times since last June and really likes it up here. Not necessarily going to be deciding anytime soon because he's going to take some more official visits into the season. But I got another guy who I like their standing with at this point that's on that official visit list. Kind of an under the radar name, so to speak. CJ Adams, a receiver from Pebblebrook High School down in Mableton, Georgia. Really intriguing receiver, bigger guy, played a lot of quarterback up until last season. Big time basketball player as well. So I think South Carolina is probably in a good spot for him as well.
Real quick, national, before I let you go, you mentioned the quarterback dominoes, and the one that everybody's watching very intently is Arch Manning. And hell, you've covered recruiting for a long time. You've seen a lot of kids. How do you? There is just because of the Manning name. If his name was Arch McGranahan, is he as publicized? Is he as talked about? Does he, from when you turn on the film, does the film live up to the hype that he's getting?
He's a really good player. Like, you turn on the film and you're like, this guy's legit, blue chip, definitely conversation, top quarterback in the country, no doubt about it. I think some of the mania, the excessive attention that you see from, the bigger name media sources like ESPN. I'm wearing a CBS hat. CBS. It's more of a, he's more of a thing, I guess, is the best way to put it, because of his last name. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm sitting here saying he's not a good player, because he really is.
There's a difference, I think, and that's why I asked you, because at times it's like this is the next Peyton Manning, or this is the next, this is the next Trevor Lawrence, and I've watched him and I go, okay, good player,
right?
Is he going to come in or is Beano Cook going to pop up on television and predict 2 Heismans and 2 national championships? Like, I think that's where I go with that is yes, he's a good quarterback. Nobody's arguing that. Is he the complete dominant guy that everybody's talked about so much that's going to come in and lead somebody to 3 national championships?
I think maybe, and part of the evaluation with him is because he's a Manning, because he's got all this had all these great teachers growing up, whether it's his grandfather, both his uncles. His dad was a really good football player before he had his issues. You can't knock him for for having that last name. Like, you can't hold that against him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I mean, the mania wouldn't be as in your face, over the top crazy if his last name was Gunter.
He also wouldn't be as tall.
Same with McGranahan, right?
Hell, thanks for stopping by this morning. Y'all doing
Yes,
a great
sir.
job. I know Whittle's probably down there trying to figure out how to run registration without you, so I'll turn you loose, get you back there. Thanks for stopping by this morning.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Hell McGranahan with thebigspur.com. We got a few other people lined up. We'll continue rolling along. It's the early game. Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, we are at Charwood Golf Club for the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay, Terry, and Tommy.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Tell you what, if you're going to get out here and play a little golf, you definitely need to be in some good shape. You don't need to be experiencing any joint pain problems with your knees or your ankles, definitely not your hips or your shoulders or your back. But if you are and you're ready to get back out and play golf, but you just can't get healthy, it's time to call QC Kinetics today. 803-281-6860. It's powerful, effective joint pain treatments with natural biologics. So give them a phone call. 803-281-6860 is how you can get in touch with us. You can stop by, or not with us, but you can get in touch with QC Kinetics. They can get you lasting joint pain relief with no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, and most importantly, no surgery. So get in touch with QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 803-281-6860. Again, it's powerful, effective joint pain treatments using natural biologics from your own body. Find out for yourself by getting a free consultation. 803-281-6860. Again, that's 803-281-6860. That's QC Kinetics.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Early voting held off a late charge by favorite Epicenter to capture Saturday's Preakness. The strategy to
Doing all right? Yeah. Long weekend. We down in Savannah. Oh, a tournament. Yeah. How did they do?
They played good. We had some unfortunate breaks yesterday. The first game we won. The second game we turn this around so they can see the second game we played our elite team, and just like anything else, and there's a lot of back and forth between the coaches and we just didn't play. Our kids. It was our second game of the day. It was their first, and we ended up getting beat 8-1. We played on a turf field. They moved us to a turf field, and that was for like kids. That was a new experience. Thank God we played at 11 a.m. It was, and then yesterday we had a chance to get into the championship game. We lost 1-0. We kind of bad break. We had the ball down on their end, and it kind of popped free, and our kid went to get it, and it hit the ref and bounced. So it should have been a dead ball. And so it bounced to the left. Our kid was kind of shooting to the right, and they had a kid go down and grab it. We were able to track him down, but he had a great cross, and they kicked it in, but it was a bad break for us. And then there was a handball in the box that they should have called. So I'll be honest, I was ready to come back. Yeah. I was tired. Austin played 25 games for a 10-year-old, 25 games in 4 months. He was worn down. So it's just kind of one of those things where he'd love to play the championship, but we would have had to play our elite team again. And nobody needed to go through that again. How's it been for you?
Okay. Hanging out, doing yard work, doing funny deals.
There you go.
Smashing that out. Well, I said you want the roof to be good.
You need to hire somebody to do that.
I'm up on this roof.
Yeah.
If I can do myself, I'm
That's where you definitely have to step in and you hire somebody who can do the job for you. Like this guy.
Oh yeah. How you doing, man? So, board. Used to meet each other. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. They allowing you to do a few things around here. They still putting you to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I actually hadn't seen Rock all morning.
Rock's in Oklahoma.
Oh, he's not even here.
Yeah, he went to the PGA. He left last Thursday. He won't be back till tomorrow, I believe.
Hanging out with you here from Charwood Golf Club for the Fairways for Fish BigSpur.com golf tournament. We're joined now by head men's soccer coach Tony Hanna. Glad to have you back on the program.
Good morning.
Now, how good is the golf game? Is this when you come out here? Golf's a worldwide sport. It really is kind of like soccer, but so it's not like growing up in England. You never saw golf. It's not like this isn't like you came to America and was like, oh, this is brand new. What is this sport? So, how is the golf?
On a range of 1 to 10, I'm about 1.
Okay, 1.
I don't have the temperament for golf. I don't think. But I try.
Well, see, you got to. I tried to. Somebody on our live stream was asking earlier, and I said, no, you come out, you bring your speaker, a cigar, maybe a beverage of choice to relax. You get to be outdoors. We're playing early this morning, which is nice. Instead of at 1 a.m., instead of 1 p.m., we're teeing off at 9, so we get to enjoy the weather. So that's the good part. You come out and enjoy a day out here.
Yeah, I love to play. I love to enjoy all the trimmings of it, but my shots are few and far between when I get around the close.
So make sure I'm well behind you when you're hitting, is what you're saying. Don't dead right and dead left don't work. Be well behind you.
I can drive and I can putt, but between that,
the captain's choice is perfect for you then. This is
exactly.
Make sure you got 3 other people. So let's ask you, yesterday, I was in the car coming back from Savannah, but EPL, John Whittle and I were talking. He was kind of giving me updates. Wild finish. Man City looks like they're going down. They scored 3 goals, I think, after the 75th minute, and Liverpool also able to pull off a pretty miraculous comeback.
Yeah, it's what you love to see. It was unbelievable. Even at the bottom of the division, it was the same. Newcastle were playing Burnley, and they needed to win. Leeds needed to draw or win. It was crazy. I had like 3 screens going, so I could see everything going on. It was madness, but that's what you love, when it comes down to the wire at the end. It's great.
Now, for those that are like, what is when a team gets regulated, when they have regulation over there, like, what is it like for the fan base? Give us, because we don't. That's the craziest thing for me, and I love the concept, and I wish we had something like that. I think a lot of us wish we had something like that for college football, just because the excitement, the energy would be like what you would get into. But what is it like for a fan base? Because it's not like you quit playing.
I mean, I've been through it a few times. I'm a Newcastle fan, so it was a yo-yo at times going up and down. But when you go down, it's devastating. I mean, it's the whole fan base, especially in a town like, most working class towns in England. It's the team is the center of the town, and it's all about the team. Like you work to pay for your season ticket to go to the game. Like that's what it's about for most of these guys. So when you go down, you get relegated. It's devastating for some of them, but most fans continue to support. And I think Newcastle were in the 2nd division, not the 1st, 2nd, and they were still pulling 30,000 people. So most fans stick to it and stick with it through thick and thin and endure the agony of being relegated.
Well, but and I guess that's what is it? Like you don't get to play your typical rivals. You don't. I mean, obviously you're not competing for the championship you want to compete. That much I get, but in terms of change in schedule, how drastic is it?
It's not that much of a change. You just have to go to different places with worse crowds or worse venues, or it's not the greatest venue in the world to go watch a game at, and those are the differences. And obviously the money in the game, TV money, which stops you buying players, which stops you developing your club. So I don't know if you saw the Everton team. So they were due to go into the bottom 3, and they won a game that they needed to win, and there was about 30,000 people on the pitch celebrating like they'd won the European Cup. I mean, they'd like they'd won the Champions League, and it was just because they were not going to go into the other division, and it was nuts.
I'm trying to think back. It was last week, and I tweeted about it because one thing I've thoroughly enjoyed is listening to the EPL announcers, the guys breaking it down. And there was a match last week. It was pretty important, and it was the home team lost, and they were talking about how the fans. It was kind of like recognition day. I believe it was something I don't. But the fans just left. The fans just took off, and they were talking about how the fans should have stuck around. Of course, then one of the announcers said, well, the team performed like, a puppy dog who just rolled over and had his belly tickled. And I went, I got to start using that one a lot more. I like that analogy for a game. But I guess that's what it is the fan bases are so connected to the program, the organization.
But they're also very fickle. I mean, even like Newcastle fans are diehard, but they're so fickle. Like when things aren't going the right way, they will walk out the stadium. They'll organize a walkout so that 20,000 people leave at halftime because they're disgruntled with the coach, the manager, the chairman, the board, and they will, voice their disdain.
Do you think the passion for college, because you don't see that in college football, if somebody's upset, I've been around here for previous head coaches where people were not pleased, but I've never seen an organized, like you said, walkout at half. I've seen people not show up.
Yeah.
They don't.
Well, hopefully that never happens here.
Right. Well, I'd say I've seen basketball about 10 years ago to where people just finally said, but I mean, you would say actually soccer fans, the passion over there is probably greater than the passion you see for anything over here.
Yeah. I mean, I have to watch what I say, obviously, because I'm in the US, but it's life. Like there's nothing else. Not for everybody.
Right.
But there's a certain contingent of the crowd that it is their life. It's all they know. It's all they want to know. And it's why they work is to be able to go to those games, not sometimes to support the household. It's like the team is first. And it's crazy. And it's outrageous sometimes how far on the extremes they go to, but it's life for some of them.
Quickly, your program, now you go into summer. I know you and I have talked. You can't, it's weird, the rules. I think they've loosened the rules for college football coaches now to be able to work with their guys. But now for you do have some camps coming up. I know Austin, my son, will be part of your little Gamecock Soccer Club June 6th through the 10th. And
that's a big one. There's a lot of kids in that one.
We look forward to that, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I believe there's still spots if people want to go and sign up.
Kids, it's half day. There's a half day and there's a full day available.
But what is as you get ready now, what does the next 2 months look like for you with your team? Hey, do you got a captain or two that you tell them this is what I want from drills, or are you allowed some film time?
I'm actually not allowed. No, it's basically captain's practice. They take the team onto the pitch and they organize drills. I'm not allowed to tell them what to do. I'm not allowed to ask for feedback.
Really?
Yeah, the rules are pretty tight. Our team is allowed to work with S&C, strength and conditioning. So strength and conditioning will have a program for them for conditioning and in the gym and getting them fit, which will be good. There's 20. I think we've got 23 of 27 coming back for summer school. So there'll be 23 available for S&C, which last year there was maybe 3 or 4 available. So I think we'll be better prepared coming into August than we were last year. And obviously we've got 17 new guys, so it's hard to get them on the same page very quickly. So having that 3-4 weeks, even if it's just together, not with me, is better than, coming in August and coming in cold.
When can you officially start working with them? Is it August 1st or
August 8th?
August 8th. But then your first exhibition, I don't know if you put out the schedule. I was going to say in years past, it's like the 13th or the 15th.
We played Duke on the 13th. So it's a big one, a big ACC opener.
How does this, there's got to be work to reform these rules, right?
I hope so. I really hope so that someone looks at it, because for the welfare of the players, and they say it's about the players and the welfare and the student athlete, then they need a proper preseason, because you can't expect someone to run into a game on the 13th, number one, fully fit, strong enough to go through a full game. It's not long enough. And they have to look at this in their reforms. They've got to look at soccer and say, right, it's probably one of the most taxing sports physically. And you need to prepare your players. And at the moment, the preparation time is not enough. It's nowhere near, enough time for us to do what we need to do. So hopefully in these reforms, we get a few weeks extra.
Yeah, last time you joined us, I joked about Jay Phillips playing. Last Wednesday night, I scrimmaged. We had a parents, first players. I
heard you were putting kids in the dirt.
Well, you got to teach it. Look, as the game went on, they got faster and I got slower. There was only one way to correct that issue, so we had to. But boy, I tell you what, even last night, my thighs and quads were still feeling it a week later. So, any thought I ever had of just coming out and hanging out, we're going to definitely get out and be around some of the players in a week or 2 weeks there when the camp's going on, and certainly want to incorporate them a little bit and give them a little love. So
yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you don't have to worry about me trying to play goalie or any other position for you. I'm very good at sitting on the sideline and being being a guy who yells a lot.
I think there's a challenge out there for you. I think we could put something together.
We'll figure something out. Coach, appreciate you joining us. Good luck today.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
I learned stand behind Coach when he hits it. So we'll come back. It's Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen. We're out here at Charwood, the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament. You're listening to 107.5 The Game.
.107.5 The Game, streaming 24/7.
1 billion of us own a smartphone, and we know how addicting it can be.
Just go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app.
So you never miss any of your favorite shows.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5
The Game.
Getting out here and playing a little golf today, it should be a lot of fun. It's especially a lot of fun if you're in great shape, if you're not experiencing problems with your back, if you've had problems with your neck lately. And if you have, well, it's one way to fix it. You need to get in touch with Casey Chiropractic Center. Dr. Pate and Dr. Roman Cooper, they've done a fantastic job for over 20 years of getting people back to living the life they want to live. So call Casey Chiropractic today to get your appointment scheduled. 803-796-2424. They file all major insurance plans, and there's absolutely no crazy excessive care plans of excessive treatment or scare tactics. They want to take care of their patients. So if you've been experiencing headaches, leg and arm numbness, or any other type of pain, they'll treat all ages. So call Casey Chiropractic Center today, 803-796-2424. Don't let low back pain, mid back pain, neck pain slow you down any longer. Casey Chiropractic Center. Dr. Pate and Dr. Roman Cooper, they've got, again, combined 42 years of experience in the industry. That's people who know how to make you feel great and get back to living the life you want to live. Call them today, 803-796-2424. Again, that's Casey Chiropractic Center, 803-796-2424.
If you have IRS tax problems, it can seem like a vicious cycle that never ends, year after year. Just getting the mail can be stressful and overwhelming. Don't let it ruin your life. There is a solution. Since 2008, the attorneys at Ecton
Hey, man. At least this summer, you know. At least my wife. I'm not sure. My 2-year-old. Golf. Good to know, switching seasons that they may not remember. I mean, yeah. That's funny, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, going into Memorial Day.
Yeah.
What color I need to sit? You're good right there. You're good right there. Kind of fiddling around with that. Zeb Nolan action. Yep. We should be back here in just a second. Alrighty. Come on, you'll be good to go. Like I said, do about 6-7 minutes. Just
talk about the transition now to being a full-time coach.
Right.
So, we got 25 minutes left, and then if we're going to tee off at 9, we'll have to because I'm going to play. We'll have to sprint, get everything, to throw it in there, and then maybe tee off a second later or something. Where are you living at now? You downtown?
Carolina Walk.
Okay, so you're down there. That's not bad at all, then.
No.
All right. Eight zero 6100. If you've been listening most of the morning, you were aware the sounds out here have picked up dramatically as people are arriving. Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, we're out here at the Fairways for Fish Golf Tournament by thebigspur.com, and joined now by one of the heroes of last season, Zeb Nolan, who is, Zeb, you're totally different now, right? Like this time last year, you knew it was football's over, right? Like you'd accepted it, I guess. I think I read the article where you'd taken your pads off at North Dakota State and you had mentally accepted football's done for me.
Yeah, I totally did. Last May, right around this time, I was getting ready to move here for the first time. I was nervous, but I was also excited. I was not only moving home, I was coming to Columbia. I wasn't going to the house. So it was a good transition going into coaching because that's what I wanted to do.
So what was it like then? The game ends against North Carolina. What was it like for you to realize this is it? Like that was it. Like, do you have that moment maybe in January or February? Like that was it. I'm now full-time coaching.
Right. It didn't really hit me till I came back from break. We got a couple weeks off, and then I came back and I was like, well, I'm back into this coaching thing. Go in there, you're watching the workouts now. You're still hanging out with the guys in the weight room, but you're not doing anything that they're doing. And that's when it really hit me like, yeah, this is over, and I got to put the collared shirt back on.
What's it been like? I've seen you a couple golf tournaments now. You were at the Lexington County Gamecock Club Golf Tournament. You're down in Florence, I think, last week. Now you're out here. What's it like transitioning? And then what's the reception for you been like? You come out here and you see a bunch of fans, and Zeb, and you're a big guy, by the way. Right. I've seen that, but as we were walking over, I was looking up at you and I was like, oh, it's a big guy. But what's it like been for you the last few months now? Kind of the reception you get when you come to events like this.
Right. I really love it just because I get to see how great these fans really are. I went from coaching and being a GA to playing, but when you're playing, it's the same thing every week. So now I get to step back and slow down and, get to meet so many people that are in that stadium every Saturday and who travel with us to go to away games. That's the thing that I really have enjoyed most is just getting to know people. It's been so much fun. I've been fishing with guys that are fans. I've been golfing with guys that are fans, and it's just good to get to know people.
What's the next step for the golf game now? What are we trying to, because this is now the life now. You come out to these events and you're an athlete and you're a competitive athlete. So what's the next step for the golf game?
I went and played last Friday at Camden with Satterfield and played pretty good. Just got to get the putt and stroke down. It's fun. You go to different courses. Some are fast, some are slow. So when you live in North Dakota, you don't play much golf. So getting back in just the whole putting and short game is where I'm trying to get a lot better.
Let's go back to last season for a second. I'm always fascinated by this. I grew up here. I was a South Carolina fan. Have gone to games since I was like 5 years old. They had height requirements to run out to 2001. I didn't pass those. The first time you come here and you get to run out for the Georgia, the Eastern Illinois game, you go running out and you compare it to being at Iowa State and at North Dakota. So what was it like to come out to 2001 and that whole scene with the towels and everything?
It's an unbelievable environment. We have a video that we show recruits. We showed them all summer, and I just thought about how awesome that was. And you just run right down the student section. They're going absolutely nuts. As a quarterback, we get to stand out there and warm up. And that was my favorite part because you're right there in the middle of it. You could feel the sound. You could feel the energy. You could see the sideline there lighting up. And, I just love running out there and seeing how excited so many guys got just to run towards the student section. And, it's bar none anywhere we went this year, in my opinion.
It's certainly, again, it's an incredible experience. Let's go back to the bowl game for a second. As a quarterback, you see Jaheim Bell breaking open on I guess it was an RPO there. Your thought process, do you see it and you're like, we got this?
Yeah.
Or does he catch it and he starts running away and you're like, dang, we got this?
No, it was a check that we worked on all week, and I saw the outside leverage and I looked at him and he looked at me and smiled, and I was like, well, we should score just because, that they were out of line. So, it was just one of those things. I peeked to the sideline. I was like, is this real? Like, they're actually, a lot of times you work on a check all week and then they do something that you're not ready for. And they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. And we got the check in and just threw the slant right there, and he was gone.
Is there what's the difference in preparing for the season as a coach now for you as opposed to preparing as a player? Is it just as simple as, well, it's physical, I don't have to work out as much, I can maybe enjoy some fried chicken a little bit more? For you now, having gone through it last year, having to jump back into it now, knowing that you're full-time coaching this year, what is the difference for you preparing as a coach as opposed to preparing as a player?
It's a little bit less stress on mentally, in the sense of you don't have to go out there and pull the trigger, and it isn't 3rd and 2 and you got to make a play or something like that, or 4th down. Those are the things that are a lot easier on you mentally. I'd say the physical part is there. I say all the time, it's like not getting hit anymore. The running and lifting's fine. It's just you don't have to take no more hits, just because they do hurt sometimes.
What's the one hit in your career that you remember the most?
Probably the first play at Georgia when Nolan Smith bounced my head off the turf.
Oh, really?
It wasn't a squared up hit, but that one.
You remember that one?
I was like, God, I'm getting old for this. Yeah.
You go back, you didn't get to play much in that game, suffered the hand injury, but you saw how many guys they had drafted in that draft. How, in layman's terms, for people that never played, going out there and lining up and seeing the actual speed and seeing the physical size. You just mentioned Nolan Smith. Can you explain that to the average fan who's sitting in the stands or watching on their 80-inch television?
Yeah. I mean, I'm 6'3", 225, and if you put me in a circle around most of their guys that played on defense, I'm pretty small compared to the average person. And then just their speed. I mean, Zaquandre White is really fast. Marshawn's really fast. And we couldn't get sideline to sideline on them. That just shows how good they are. And then you see Lewis Sin, the safety. I mean, he runs a 4.26 or 8. 4.28 or something. I mean, he can absolutely fly, but he comes down out of the sky and he's a real physical tackler. There's a reason that people, like Michigan, they struggled to run the ball on them just because they're so fast and they're very disciplined. I just love, you got to respect it. And I was ready to play them, though. I do know that.
Zeb, we appreciate you. Good luck today.
Yes, sir.
Look
Thank
forward to
you.
seeing
Good
you
luck to
more
you.
of these golf tournaments. Yeah, I'm playing again today. So
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Go
care.
Cox.
Zeb Nolan stopping by for a few minutes this morning. We will wrap up the program here as we are out here. Charwood Golf Club, the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament put on by the BigSpur.com. Been a great event so far this morning, and they are doing a heck of a job. A lot of people are getting out here now. The pig is on the barbecue over there and looks absolutely fantastic as we wrap up the Monday morning edition of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Extra Point
with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by KFC. Biting into a sandwich is good. Getting the perfect bite of KFC's juicy, hand-breaded, 100% white meat chicken filet with tangy mayo, thick-cut pickles, and a buttery brioche bun, that's finger-licking good. Order the KFC chicken sandwich in classic or spicy today. Prices and participation may vary.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call Mid-State Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Mid-State Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Mid-State roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Mid-State has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, midstateroofing.com.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. So give Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning a call. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. Mention me, Bill Gunter, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Schedule online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right. We'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Smile. 803-630-5929 for more details.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept, and to help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, now only $19.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge for a coupon and daily support? Sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Are you a lady Gamecock looking for something cute and stylish to wear? Hey, this is Scott, and I wanted to let you know, this year, Gamecock Tradition is putting a special emphasis on getting you ladies Gamecock fashions unlike anything we've carried before, and it started arriving in stores now. Tie-dye, fashion tops, dresses, ladies cut tops, and much, much more. If you haven't signed up to get our emails, go to Gamecock Traditions now, and you'll be the first to get all the new style information and restock alerts. Gamecock Traditions, 5134 Sunset Boulevard, and our new location at Sandhills by the Fountain.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The Early Game
With Bill Gunter, Patrick Perez, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The Early Game, 1075
The Game.
Final segment from Charwood Golf Club today, where we have had a really fun time. Big thank you to John Whittle, to Hell McGranahan, Coach Tony Annan for stopping by, Zeb Nolan there in that previous segment. They are getting closer and closer to tee-off time, so I'm going to have to try and close out this program and then race over to my golf cart to get in and be ready to go. But
Don't pull a hamstring.
No, that's, Coach Andy, like I said, I injured myself enough last week trying to play soccer with the 9 and 10-year-olds. Was worn out from that, so thankfully, I think I'm good and loose this morning. I've hit a couple golf balls. We should be ready to go here in probably about 10 or 15 minutes when everybody tees off. So it's been again a lot of fun. Big thank you to Charwood for having us out here. I've kind of enjoyed it, Jen, to be honest, doing it. We've been out here multiple times in the past, and we always do it inside. You can tell me now or you can tell me later. I don't think it's been too loud out here. I think it's actually been a nice little setup this morning right here on the patio overlooking the driving range.
No, it's been really good. It's you're getting sounds of nature, just hearing some balls being hit, but it's not just crushing sounds. So yeah, it's been a nice background.
So it's been and it's set up to be a beautiful morning out here, and we're going to tee off here in about 10 or 15 minutes and get going. So it should be a lot of fun out here. If you want to weigh in the final 6 or 7 minutes of the program, 803-404-6100 is how you can do that. Again, we've talked a lot of baseball, obviously, in the first 2 hours. South Carolina drops 2 of 3 on the road down in Gainesville this past weekend to Florida. And they are now set for a 2 p.m. game tomorrow in Hoover against those same Florida Gators. Florida will be the 7 seed. South Carolina will be the 10 seed. And That will be the single elimination portion of the SEC tournament. So you'll have that to follow. You can hear right here on 107.5 The Game. You'll also be able to watch it on the SEC network as the SEC baseball tournament will get going. We'll see where everything kind of goes from tomorrow. Certainly Will Sanders expected to get the start. If South Carolina can win tomorrow, they get into the double elimination portion. And all you can do is follow the North Carolina State, 1983 model, survive in advance. Just survive in advance. Win, figure out the pitching situation for the next day, and kind of keep rolling on. And we'll see if that's what South Carolina can do, if they can find some magic here in the final full week of May and move forward. But certainly not the way the Gamecocks wanted the season to go. 27-27 overall, 13-17 in conference play is how they will wrap up, and they'll go to Hoover, where we mentioned earlier, and it is, at least, give credit here, maintaining the streak, 25th consecutive year of qualifying for the SEC baseball tournament. But South Carolina 29-50 overall in conference play. This week, Patrick will be out. We got a lot that we're going to get into. We'll start really getting into some football, really. It is the 30th year, hard to believe, the 30th year that South Carolina has been in the SEC starting this coming August. And right here on 107.5 The Game, we're going to start voting on the top 30 USC players in the SEC era for football. It'll start today. The voting form is on our website, 107.5 The Game. It's kind of on one of those rotating promo reels at the top of the website. So go to 107.5thegame.com. You can click on it and goes to a voting page. You'll be able to click on the top 30 players. It's really simple to do, but we're going to start voting on the top 30 football players of the SEC era. The countdown will start Monday, June 9th, and then right before SEC Media Days. But it is kind of crazy. I was there that first night. South Carolina took on Georgia at Williams-Brice Stadium for the SEC opener in 1992. I was there, and it was certainly an interesting experience. South Carolina had played Georgia a lot, obviously, in the 80s and 70s and built quite the rivalry. But that opening night in 1992, the first game for South Carolina in the SEC play, was something to behold. We'll get into some memories on that. And certainly as we go through not just this week, but through the summer, also kind of want to start trying to build out your all-time SEC era football team, starting offense, starting defense. And we'll start working on that on 107 here on the early game. Some really good quarterbacks, really good running backs, really good wide receivers to choose from, offensive linemen, certainly that you can weigh in with. But again, we will start voting on the top 30 South Carolina players in the SEC era today. Go to 1075thegame.com, where you can click on the tab at the top of the website and go to the voting page. Fans will be able to vote on their top 30 players. If you have any questions, you can simply text us or email in, and we'll try and help you the best we can. Again, countdown will start Monday, June 6th, and then right before SEC Media Day. So go and make sure you do that. Should be a lot of fun there as we count down the 30th year of the SEC for South Carolina. And some memories, some good, some bad, but we'll get into that over the next several weeks. Again, tonight, Heat and Celtics up in Miami. Up in Boston. The Heat right now with a 2-1 lead in that series, and that's been a pretty entertaining series. That one's the one that's brought me back into the NBA a little bit, but tonight you've also got some NHL taking place, and NHL has been a lot of fun to follow. The series have been pretty good. It's a kind of a shame that the Lightning and the Panthers have been the way that they are. But tonight you've got Florida and Tampa. Tampa looking to close out the series, and in the late game, Colorado and St. Louis. St. Louis able to win game 3 to keep that thing from getting completely away from them. But you'll have Florida and Tampa tonight, 7 o'clock on TNT. Colorado and St. Louis, 9:30 on TNT. That's your NHL for tonight. And again, tomorrow, just a reminder, programming note, tomorrow you'll have South Carolina baseball right here on 107.5 The Game. 2 o'clock is when they are scheduled to start out there in Hoover. Of course, it'll be 30 minutes after the first game. So if the first game runs a little long, well, then that'll cause some problems for the second game. But South Carolina heading to Hoover, they'll play Florida for the 4th consecutive game. They dropped 2 of 3 this past weekend and finished the season, I should say, to 27-27, 13-7. They finished ahead of Kentucky and Missouri in the SEC East, finished ahead of Alabama and Mississippi State in the West. So South Carolina will be your 10 seed. It'll be Florida as the 7 seed. The schedule for tomorrow: Alabama and Georgia at 10:30, South Carolina, Florida at 2, Mississippi and Vanderbilt at 5:30 in the late game, Kentucky and Auburn tomorrow night. I guess the good news is South Carolina doesn't have one of those late games in the SEC tournament like they've had in the past where we're all staying up till 1 a.m. So big thank you to thebigspur.com for having us out here. Incredible event today, the Fairways for Fisch Golf Tournament. Everybody is heading off. They have left the range and heading off to get their carts set, and we will be teeing off here momentarily. Big thank you to Charwood Golf Club for once again providing everything we need to do another great show. Big thank you to John Whittle, to Hale McGranahan, to Coach Tony Annan, to Zeb Nolan, and big thank you to Jen. Jen, we're together this week until Friday when you feel like you've seen enough of me, so you're bolting out on me as well.
Yep.
Be back in studio tomorrow with Jen. We'll get some guests. We'll cut up and have another good time. Thank you to everybody for being a part of the program. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Go try to break 100.
Oh, boy.
Gamecocks, Braves, the NFL with live local radio.
All right, you need to shut it down.
Game, WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia, a Cumulus media station.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Big thank you for being a part of the program. We will see you tomorrow. I got to go.
Have fun. Bye, guys.